Now maybe we have some sound. How's about here? Let's try this and see what we've got. If you are now hearing me, please type yes in the chat or something. And likewise, if I'm coming in way too loud, say something there too, because we're trying to make some adjustments here. We apologize. This is the beginning of the spiel. So.
We got sound. Great.
Okay, yay, we have
Nick,
sound.
thanks
Excellent.
for letting us know.
Alrighty, thank you, Nick, for letting us know. So, let's recap what we were talking about earlier when nobody was listening. Welcome to the Elisabeth Childs Challenge for GNCC women curlers with 5 or less years of experience here at the Potomac Curling Club. This is the largest Childs Bonspiel that has ever occurred in the history of GNCC. We have 31 teams competing for the 4 trophies that will be given out on Sunday. We are here in the first draw, Sheet B, a game between, in yellow, they threw the first stone this end. The Potomac Curling Club brings us the Misfit Takeout team of being skipped by Maggie Churlo. Also, the lead is Danielle McLeod-Henning, the second is Rebecca Myers, and the vice is Miriam Chaninko. They're competing against the red team from Philadelphia, the Curling Colleens, skipped by Janine Furmender. The vice is Ingrid Lux, the second is Gretchen Chacha, and the lead is Ashlyn Basiri. As you can see, the first red skips stone, delivered by Jamie Furmender, is coming down right now. They have the hammer this end, and they're currently sitting 2, so they'll definitely be attempting. It looks like they're just guarding that up right there.
And I see that on Maggie's team, the Misfit Takeout, Miriam Ternenko is vicing. So
Yes.
she's sparing for, I think, for Danielle McLeod-Henning.
We have that she's sparing for Elisabeth.
Okay. She might be sparing for Elisabeth, but it looks like she's playing vice.
Yes, she is playing vice.
Yes.
Okay, so we are now getting ready for Maggie Churlo's final stone of the end here. She's looking at, she's got a rough situation, Enrique. I mean, red has two stones that are definitely sitting 1 and 2 shots. She does have the third shot.
And it looks like she's calling for the draw behind that red and into the button.
Okay, from our left to our right as we're going down. That's a heck of a shot to throw at the first end of the game. Let's see what she does here. The sweepers are not on it at all.
No, and it seems it's not coming back. What I've noticed since last week, since we had the flood here, it doesn't curl as much on the rocks that are coming back to the center line.
Makes sense. And yep, that just went clear through. It was also probably too heavy to take the curl.
Yeah,
So
maybe if they had swept it early, it might have hit that red and rolled inside.
Okay, so now they're looking at, Janine Fernandez looking at what she can do. She's got 2 locked in here. I think she's trying to see if she can get a third one.
Draw in and touch red for
They're
3.
just calling the draw. Okay. As you can hear, we have microphones on the skips. You should have been able to hear Janine just tell her front end that all they're looking to do is just draw in and touch the red to get that third point. So that's what they've got going on.
Yeah, that's good.
So Janine Furmender, this is actually her 4th year of experience. So as GNCC, as a child's curler goes, she's got a lot of experience, so she's got a pretty good chance on this.
Yeah.
She's got the draw going. They called the sweepers onto it about halfway down. They're working it pretty hard. I don't know. I don't think this has the length. Feels short to me.
Yeah, needed a little bit more weight there. They're sweeping hard, but I don't think it's going to get, at least not to outcount. No, they're
it's
off.
not. So red takes 2. It's 2. There's, well, okay, they're looking to see the second point. From our vantage point, it appears pretty clear, but our cameras are not official by any stretch of the imagination. So it's up to them. Okay, yep, they've called it. Red takes 2. So the Curling Colleens are up 2-0 after 1 end. While they're resetting for the second end, we'll take a moment to let you know what's going on the other sheets. Sheet A features the Virginia monologues skipped by Courtney from the Central Curling Club of Virginia, playing against Potomac, Linda Kerman's team, Potomalee.
Right up top, Ashlyn.
They're in their first end now. Linda Kirkman has the yellow stones. McCartney has the red, and obviously there is not yet any score. Over on sheet C, we have Irish Ice, Shirley Hershey representing the Potomac Curling Club, against the Chesapeake Curling Club, team skipped by Fisher, the Lucky Charms. They're still in the first end also. We're not sure who has which color stones yet either, unfortunately. And on, oh, actually we are sure. Hershey has yellow, and which means that the Lucky Charms have red. And over on sheet D, we have the Bucks County team, skipped by Lynn, against Chessie's Girls, skipped by Weisberger. And I'm sorry, I don't actually know what club she's from. We'll try to get that information and pass it along here momentarily. They're in their second end, but I do not have a first end score posted either.
Yes!
So that's what's going on there. So now returning to our feature game.
The Curling Colleens center guard ended up as a 2 guard, and it's not really on the center line, so it didn't curl back to where they wanted it to be.
As far as you can, as far as you can.
Right back here, T-line's fine. Shorter than that's fine too.
And Janine calls for a draw behind the red guard.
Over on sheet A, judging from the fact that Linda Kirkman is throwing the first stone to the end, she must have gotten at least 1 in that first end.
On its own right now. On its own, on its own.
Teams tend to take a little bit to hang up their scores sometimes, so we'll update your scores as quickly as we can get them.
Ingrid, let's get the score.
And that's a little bit behind the T-line. It's almost at the back. I think it's not counting, but it's still in play.
All right, let's get and try that again. Okay.
Weight was good.
Well, okay. So we're told as the result of a measure on sheet C, the Lucky Charms rink from Chesapeake is up 1-0 over Irish Ice.
Yes,
And over on sheet D, it appears that Chessie's Girls got 3 to go up 3-0 after 1. We still don't know exactly how many points Linda Kirkman's Potomac team scored on sheet A.
Perfect.
They'll be hanging it
That's
shortly.
fine. No, up. Let it hit. You can get it on the outside. Nice shot.
So for those of you watching along at home, if there's any particular teams that you're particularly interested in, let us know, and we'll try to keep those games updated a little bit more often, just so you know your favorite curlers. We attempt to be a full-service broadcast here.
Plenty of room.
No, Janine's sending her her first rock, and she's waiting for it to curl across the center line, and it's really not curling.
What was she hoping to do?
The ice is very straight tonight.
Point sit right on it.
Looks like they're going to
But
try
she
to
has the backing.
sweep it to the freeze at the back. So that's why we leave those stones hanging around in the back, even if they're not out of play, because sometimes...
Well, now it is out of play.
Now it is out of play,
They
though.
haven't moved it.
Right. Actually, they really should move that.
Yeah, it's a tripping hazard, but there's the other one in front of it.
Well, it's also a trip. Also, if that red one got hit,
It should go out.
Yes, yes, we're right.
I'm sure they'll notice it shortly. As we said, these are all curlers with under 5 years of experience. In some cases, in many cases, in fact, in cases of 80 of the curlers here, this is their first time here at the Child's Bonspiel, and many of them are actually at their first Bonspiel period ever. So, you know, things may get a little interesting. There we go.
No worries.
Okay. But yeah, you also notice that sportsmanship definitely rules the day. This is a very social curling game.
Okay.
Looks like they were asking
There it goes.
Gretchen Cha-Cha to draw to that one in the back or possibly curl and take it out. That lost its handle. In fact, even a reversed handle a little bit when it's clean through the house.
Try that again. Try it again.
And okay, we now have a score hung on sheet A. Linda Kirkman's team, Potomali, got 1 in the first end, so they're up 1-0. So Kirkman 1, McCartney, the Virginia Monologues, nothing to this point.
Oh my God. It does look heavier. Pocket sand.
And here on sheet B, our feature game, it's 2-0 in favor of the curling Colleens. Sheet C is 1-0 in favor of Irish Ice over the Lucky Charms. And sheet D, it is Chessie's Girls 3, Bucks County team skipped by Lynn, nothing. We're still very early in all these games, so lots can happen.
They're getting cold.
That's right.
On both sides.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, all the way.
Now for Ingrid's first rock, it's a little bit light, and it's going to cover the center line.
Yeah, that's definitely not what they were looking. That looks like that just came up light. The line looked good if she was trying to freeze to that red one in the back, but I don't think that's what she wanted.
To the yellow.
Hey, Miriam, let's see your draw skills.
Okay. That's Maggie calling for draw skills. And she's giving about 2 feet to curl around that new guard that was just placed in. Even with our ice not curling much tonight, I think that's very close.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that might wreck. Okay, judging
But
from
it's
her
coming a
reaction
little
on the-
wide.
Yeah, judging from her reaction on the release, it was a little wide. Got the sweepers on it quickly, though.
That looks heavy.
What are we doing here? Okay, they called them up. Maybe that was just the sweepers thinking it was light and they got called off.
Pocket
Did
sand.
you see it didn't curl?
I said, how's the weight? I can't hear you guys yelling weight.
No. And it went straight through.
No, no worries.
So now we have Janine Fermender's Vice's second shot, I believe.
Yes.
Not yet.
Yellow
And she's trying that same shot, which is a draw around that red, but the way it's curling, you really have to.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a call I would make. I think I'd feel more comfortable trying to having promoted my one on the center there, because I mean that one was a little heavy for the draw anyhow. But I think if it had been the right speed to draw in the house, I think it would have
A
wrecked.
little higher up, okay?
Yeah,
Or at
I
least
think
not
red
very.
should be going for the promote right now,
Right.
since the ice is so straight. Yellow is in a harder spot
Yeah.
because they can't really curl around even though they're trying.
Right.
But also, all these rocks have been a little bit heavy, and maybe with the right weight they will curl.
It's entirely
Let's
possible.
just see if they start curling early or if they curl late. If they curl late, then they can make it around. I think that this one is also a little bit heavy.
Yeah, and also it's still to me looks like it was even wide of the skips broom.
Really?
Now, one of the hardest things about, particularly when you're a newer curler, is to get that weight right the first couple ends of a game. It can be really difficult.
Keep going for the shot, 'cause
So,
I really like it there, like full white.
and unfortunately, I think Janine Fermender is falling into a classic, almost a trap. She's thrown it 4 times unsuccessfully. She's trying again. Sometimes you just got to decide that it's just time to move on to the next idea. But she's calling another shot at it. And you see her moving down the ice there.
No, I brought mine down before.
And if that rock's curl, she's calling for about 3 feet of curl there.
2.5, 3 feet, definitely. So
Yeah,
that's
3 feet to get behind the guard
yeah,
there.
definitely. That's asking this ice to move a lot, judging on what I've seen the previous.
It
snows.
will curl more as the game goes on. We're going to see 3 feet of curl after a third or fourth end, but I don't think that we're going to get that much curl at this point.
Well, and on the other hand, Janine is one of the more experienced curlers in this game, and actually she's bringing the broom in now. She looked at it and she's like, no, the ice is too straight for that.
Try and be light, so.
But she has those guards. She should be trying to promote them.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
She can do that with her last rock, too.
True.
So she might be waiting for that.
The speed is not horrible, but I don't think it's going to bend enough.
Yeah,
No,
but
actually,
it's through.
It's on the line. So many stones are thrown through. This is very fast.
All right, let's see how my super skills
And
are.
yep,
There it is. Okay.
Dragged it right through. So.
All right, so Gardley.
So honestly, right now, Maggie Churlo is.
Now, what I would call, if I were Maggie, I would try to put the rock up on the 12-foot in the front of the house.
Guard that draw line that
if someone can make
so
that
much.
draw, you should be guarding it.
But she's
Because if you get into the house and you don't curl enough, you're going to have an open hit there, and the hits are easier. We can see with the ice this straight, the hits are easier than the draws.
Right, but no, it looks like she's calling the draw.
Just stay close. Call out ice. Try it.
Now, I do know that this particular team, the Misfit Takeout team, is composed of a lot of newer curlers, even for a 5 and under. There's a lot of second and third year curlers, so they just may not be. They don't have the experience that a lot of more experienced curlers may have, and that may impact their thinking. They may be thinking that the draw is the wiser shot, but that one looks like it was a little heavy.
That seemed like
and
whatever.
went clear through the house.
All right.
So
yeah, they're all. Our ice here at Potomac normally it's a bit slow and it curls a lot. And after we had our flood last weekend, we felt that the ice is a lot straighter and a lot faster than it normally is. So that's detrimental to our Potomac curlers because they're used to slow ice and they're at swingy ice, and they're expecting that to happen. And all of a sudden they come for the Bonspiel at their own home ice where they should know the ice better. But because we had the flood so recently, it's new ice for everybody.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of one of the things about Bonspiel at your home club. If the home club has doctored the ice for the tournament, which a lot of them do, your home knowledge can sometimes go out the window. Which makes it fair, so I suppose that's a good thing.
But get ready just in case. There's something funny out there because we haven't been out there.
Is she doing the hit, or is she just calling a really wide takeout? This must be a hit.
That's probably a hit. Would you go for the double takeout?
That would be asking a lot in the second end of the game.
But all you need is the hit and the roll behind.
Right.
Back a little.
And
Like not
even
even
this,
moving.
I think it's going to tick off the top one, I think, and that's going to roll in. No,
It's in there, but she's not going to get any roll.
No roll at all. So
but
she is
now
exposed.
she's counting.
She is counting. So forcing Maggie Churlo to basically duplicate that hit to take her 2 and get this game tied back up.
They have another shot.
Let's hit it for 2. As much as I'd love you to move the guards out of the way.
Now this is interesting. Janine threw her hit from the inside out, and Maggie's calling to come in from the outside in.
That Janine's rock was also an out turn.
Now the handle was she turned away from the center line.
Let's see how that goes.
Rather dramatic.
Stay close. Okay.
Normally when you have the same shot as the last person, you're going to try to use the same handle and pretty much the same ice as the other person.
Right.
But she's throwing a lot heavier too.
Yeah,
it looks like she's on the
She's
guard.
on her guard. Is she going to be able to get the tap? Yeah, okay, it worked. That
she did it the hard way.
That works too. Okay, I don't know if that was what she had in mind, but the outcome works. Maggie Churlo makes the hit by doing a promote takeout on her guard, rolling into to touch the 4-foot, takes her 2. After 2 ends, it's a brand new curling game. So let's see. Do we have any second end scores?
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good.
Exactly. And at this level, at this novice level of curling, 5 and under, you'll see some shots that you'll go, wow, I never would have guessed that was coming.
Try a guard. We're gonna try this
Looks
way.
like all of our games are in the well, no, they're not. Some of the games, the other games on the ice are just finishing up their second end now. So we'll get the second end scores out to you as quickly as we have them.
So that's Danielle with the first rock of the sand.
Yes. Far back as you can.
Looks like that's going to be a center line. Pretty good shape as far as the center line goes.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yep.
Actually, that's
a very good guard.
Yeah, that's textbook. You can't ask for much better than that. That's an excellent guard.
This is fine.
we're hearing reports that on sheet D, the Bucks County 2 game versus Chessie's girls, that the red team from Bucks County took 3, which would make it which would tie that game up. We're not 100% sure that's what happened, but as soon as we get a confirmation, we'll let you know.
All right, Danielle, let's try the hit.
Okay, Maggie calling for a hit on that red rock that was drawn into the house.
It's okay.
It's a little wide.
That's a lot of weight for the hit. It's plenty of weight for the hit, and the skip is calling it's wide. Oh yeah, that's going to be through, missing it on the outside.
Hanging out there.
It's coming.
So now this is Ashley Basiri's second stone. She's the lead for the curling Colleens. We are told that this is actually her first year of experience. So, and this is obviously therefore her first child's bonspiel.
Yes, for line. Yes.
And yep, we can confirm it on sheet D. Bucks County 2, skipped by Lynn, did in fact hang up a 3 to make that a 3-3 game after 2. There's going to be lots of points over on that sheet, it looks like. Looks like Ashlyn Stone
Ended up promoting the yellow into the house.
Yep, the yellow is definitely sitting shot right now.
Yes.
What?
Up. What's the weight?
What was that? Is this a
Oh,
guard?
I think it's a guard in front of the shot rock.
Yeah, and it looks. Yeah, actually, I think it's kind of over. Well,
Well, it's much more important.
And if it's in, it's in.
yeah,
But that's a very good guard.
It's a very good guard, over curled slightly, but not enough to matter.
Now, with the straight ice, I don't think that the
Yeah,
yellow
that's-
rock, that shot is hittable. Maybe if you hit the red first, but that would be a very tough
Yeah,
shot.
So that's actually a very effective guard. So now we're moving on to the curling Colleens from Philadelphia. Gretchen Cha-Cha, she's their second. They're on her first stone, and judging from that line,
Yes.
It looks like it's a draw. Draw round. I think it's a draw.
That way? Yeah.
Yeah. Hard all the way.
Sweepers are on it, that's for sure.
Or it might be a light hit.
They could be going for that hit.
Yeah. It's going to hit it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to
actually-
move it enough. No, it didn't move it enough, but
No, it didn't move it
it's
though.
not behind the guard anymore.
Right. Very clear move. So I was thinking several stones ahead. That's kind of the hallmark of this game. Now we're going for a draw around the guard from the other side of the sheet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's either a draw or it might just be guarding the rock.
Right.
I think that rock is still partially guarded.
with
So-
Becca Meyer's second
All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way.
second stone.
Trying to sweep it around
That
the guard, ended up
just
moving the
just
guard,
clipped the guard.
and
But
it's in
she's
the house.
getting a good spin in.
Take this out.
It's the fourth shot.
And the cause a hit on the shot rock now. That's for Gretchen's second rock.
Actually, yes, it's Gretchen's second. Yes, it's Gretchen's second and final stone at the end. So again, we remind those of you watching out there on the live stream, apparently we have 35 viewers, which for the first round on a Thursday night is not bad. If you have any questions or anything like that, please post them in the chat. We're monitoring the live stream. We'll answer them as quickly as we can.
It's okay.
So we know over on sheet A, we have a second end score. The Virginia Monologues, the CCVA team from McCartney, took 2 to go up 2-1 over Kirkland from the Potomac Curling Club. And we know sheet C is in the third end. We do not know what happened in the second
I want
end.
a guard.
Well, thanks for asking, Sue. My name is Alan McNeil, and I'm with Enrique Kempenick. sitting over here next to me, and we'll be announcing this game for you. So, absolutely, Dave. That's the whole point of this. I mean, yeah, we know that odds are good that the folks on TV probably have some fans listening to the game, because we know that we saw someone tweeting it out earlier. It was kind of funny. But we want to make sure that all eight teams have their moment in the sun, so to speak.
Now Miriam's rock is going right onto the button. That's a very nice shot.
That is excellent, and that's behind the 2 stones worth of cover, right on the button. That's got to be.
Janine's call is for a promote takeout.
Tap promote. Tap weight.
Tap weight?
That's what she may have said hack, but I thought she said tap. I gotta believe hack, because tap wouldn't make a great deal of sense.
Back 4 would put her ahead, but it would be very risky. She's got to get the lines right.
Okay, she's got the sweepers on it hard now. As the stone's coming in, it's crossing over the hog. I think it's gonna tick the yellow up front.
It's over curled.
Yeah, and it's spun in. There are a lot of stones in play right now. What it did do, however, is that yellow stone on the button is now exposed.
Come that way, 'cause it works.
It's a tight hole, but it's actually not even all that tight. It's just plenty exposed right now. So, and I'm pretty sure that it appears that Maggie Churlo is asking her vice, Miriam, to guard that hole back up. Which seems like the intelligent play.
Yes!
Sweepers are on it.
Needs to be over.
They're concerned about whether that's over the hog. That's clearly over the hog. I'm concerned about over curling at this point.
Up.
And it's not guarding the shot rock, so Ingrid's shot is probably going to be a straight hit on the shot rock.
That would be my bet.
Yeah, you just take out the middle.
Yep, that's exactly what they're calling. That's exactly what they're calling. Janine Furmender is asking Ingrid to take that yellow stone that's sitting right on the button out of play. Judging from her reaction with the broom, she may have thought this shot was thrown a little wide.
But it's already started to curl
it's
a
moving.
lot more than it did in the first
That's
end.
not going to get there. That's going to hit their red stone. However,
and it the hard way.
However, once again, just like they drew it up, I'm sure, they promote the stone that was up in the 12-foot onto the yellow on the button. So now the red stone is sitting shot in the 4. There's still another yellow in the 4-foot as the second stone. The red stone that is shot, however, is not behind any sort of cover at all. So Miriam. No, I'm sorry. It's actually Maggie Churlo's first.
This is Maggie's first, yeah.
So she's getting ready to throw her first stone, and it looks like there's going to be a takeout of that red stone that found its way through.
We're gonna hit.
And so aside from those 2 that are in the 4-foot, I got to be honest, I'm not really sure whose third shot. It might be red, it might be yellow.
Oh, I'm like.
Probably red. Probably the red foot over at the edge of the 8-foot. And red may even be the 3rd and 4th shots. It's hard to say. There's a lot of curling in this end.
Now with Maggie with the release, now turn. She's got to wait until it curls around the guard.
It's gonna get that yellow one up top. Let's see what happens here. We've had some wacky stuff already. Nope, that just takes it through the hole and accidentally even provides a guard on that red stone that's on the button. So that was definitely not what she had in mind there.
Yes. Right here. Well, at all. I was slightly wide.
Oh no, it curled way too much. I didn't give you enough ice. That was my
And
fault.
one other thing, you guys watching this on the web stream can't actually see this, but the front end for the curling Colleens is actually looking through the glass into the warm room. Our webcast is being shown on a television in the back, so they can actually see the house.
The problem is it's delayed about 20, 25 seconds,
it is,
but
still.
Yeah.
The yellow that's behind it. Right down, right to the left of her room.
what's her call?
The yellow out the back.
She wants to promote. She wants to get that yellow out the back, is what she's saying, which is her key to getting a lot of points this end. But I'm not sure what her approach is. I don't see it.
Well, she has 2 rocks to play with.
Does she? Yes, she does. You're absolutely right. So maybe she's playing the.
That's curling a lot.
It is. That first end where stones were not moving at all was definitely no longer the case.
Also, they tend to curl a lot more when they're curling away from the center line.
So that hit that yellow one there, put that through the hole.
And just didn't move anything
really
that was
make
really
much
in the
change
house.
at all. So now let's see, what do we think Maggie Churlo can do with her last stone this end, knowing that Janine has another one to come. The promote's in play. It's a long promote.
But it's straight back.
It is straight back. And that's what they're
Yeah, I
calling.
want you up here on this one. It's going to be easier for you to see.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So I want
We're
that
gonna try and do something.
Yep.
Let's see how that goes.
She's lining up the nose hit takeout, or the nose hit promote rather, which if basically her goal is to take her yellow shooter, promote her yellow guard, sitting just outside the 12 foot, straight back onto that red stone that's just nibbling the button. And if it all works out right, she'll be sitting 2 and actually behind cover.
In case I overcurl.
Okay, she's changing the shot slightly.
Yeah, like that.
She's calling it from the other side of the stone now. Throwing the hit weight. The stone is on its way. Stone is on its way.
She's got it. Watch.
They're looking for the curl. I think she might have it. She got enough of it.
That's an awesome shot.
That worked beautifully. That is exactly what she had in mind, because actually that shooter just rolled behind those other cover stones.
Gives very little options for Janine to.
She has a draw from our right to the left.
Yeah,
but
it's very tight.
That's not all that.
Well, she's looking.
No, it's not that
She's
tight.
looking for the outside draw.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
I would think center line, draw on the center line and just left of center and go behind that yellow there.
See, I would personally, I'd come from our right to our left
This into this.
and curl in. And now they're talking about possibly playing some pinball over here on the left side. Why don't you shut up and let them discuss their shot?
So I'm gonna hit this like right. Yeah.
That's the only shot that can give her multiples. But it's still very hard.
Yeah. That was the other way though. Okay. Come right up level with the, not touching it, but up for. But not really, only like right here, not here, because I don't go that way.
Aren't you cold?
It's like here.
That's the pleasure of being a skip. You just sit around, do nothing.
Too.
Let everybody else do what they got to do.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
We're listening to Maggie.
Yeah.
They get to make the awesome shot at the end.
Okay, so she's made her decision. She's playing pinball over here on the left.
Because it's so fast.
So what's the shot?
We're gonna
Red
try the
into
red
yellow?
red.
At least, possibly red into
Promote red
into
into yellow? It's a run back on. I don't know if that shot is
We're
there.
having fun.
I would use the one on the inside.
So I don't know if you just heard that, Enrique. Your thing was, oh,
Yeah.
let's see what happens. We're having fun here. So basically, there's going to be some granite moving here in about 15 seconds. Let's see what happens.
I would have gone center out on that red that's on the 8 foot.
Well, she's on the ice. We're not.
Yes.
Stone is on its way. They got the brooms on it immediately. It's definitely got a good upweight hit. Oh, they took the sweepers off. They want a little bit of movement.
No.
Keeping the sweepers
no,
off.
no.
I think she's concerned she's not going to get enough curl at that weight. She's going to tick her top red. Promote. Did she get enough? I don't.
I think it's one yellow.
I'm pretty sure one yellow. They're looking at it right now. Again, our cameras are not official by any stretch of the imagination.
All right, we cut him down.
Yep, they just called it 1 yellow. So they give up the steal. So that brings our score to 3-2 in favor of Misfit Takeouts. The rink skipped by Maggie Churlo from the Potomac Curling Club. Again, for those of you who are joining us late, because I just saw our little counter tick up a little bit, we're here at the first draw of the largest Elisabeth Childs Challenge in history. We have 31 teams competing, 8 of them out on the ice right now here at the Potomac Curling Club. And we're going to keep you up to date on everything as much as we can all weekend. But right now we're watching our feature game on Sheet B, Misfit Takeout, which is skipped by Maggie Churlo. The vice is Miriam Tomiko. Second, Becca Myers, and the lead is Danielle McLeod-Henning. They currently are up 3-2 over the Curling Colleens from the Philadelphia Curling Club. Janine Fermender is the skip. The vice is Ingrid Lux. The second is Gretchen Chacha, and the lead is Ashlyn Basiri. So we're just starting the fourth end.
And the score right now is 3 for Maggie Churlo's team and 2 for Janine Fermender's team. So it's still a very open game.
Absolutely.
Yes. Bring it in. Up. Oh, all right. Well then, let it go. Box.
Ends up right on the tee line.
Just sit on it.
Right on the tee.
It was called as a guard, but it feels like it's downhill coming this way because most of the rocks thrown this way have been a little bit heavy.
Yeah. Oh, somebody fell down over on sheet A, but it looks like the only damage is a slightly bruised ego. She's giggling it off and standing back up.
Tee's
So
good.
everything's okay.
Let it curl. Tap is okay.
So
Yes,
they
now.
called for, Janine called for her lead, Ashlyn Basiri, to freeze to that, but I think it's a little heavy, so they're playing for the tap now.
Yep.
And that's
Curls a little bit and hits it across the 4-foot circle.
Right.
She is counting 1 now with her red rocks.
Yes. All right, so sheet A in the third end.
Danielle?
The Virginia
try the
Monologues
takeout.
from CCVA down in Richmond, Virginia,
We're gonna
hung
come
a
inside
3-spot on Linda Kirkman's Potomali team. So they are now up 5-1 after 3 ends. Over on sheet D, the team shooting Red Rocks, Bucks County's team skipped by Lynn,
Yes.
is up over Chessie's Girls,
Yes, hooray!
skipped by Weisgerber. And Bucks County took
Up,
1 in
guys.
the third
Up,
end
up,
to
up,
go
go.
up 4-3. They're still finishing the third end over on sheet C, so we'll let you know what happens there as soon as we have something. And I gotta be honest, I'm looking at what they're throwing over there, and I have no clue what they're doing.
Sit on it.
They're skip stones, though. I know that much.
Okay, that's good. It's got to come.
I think did she call for the freeze?
She called for a
again?
freeze, yes.
There it goes.
And
It's a little heavy for a freeze, but it's going to tap it and
back,
stay there.
Stick there. Be about 6-8 inches of separation there. Way more than that, even about 2 feet.
Beautiful.
She's satisfied with the shot.
She's sitting 2, and she has a little bit of a wall behind her now. Not wall, back, 1 stone back to make a takeout from the Misfit Takeouts. A little bit of it. So the Takeouts are calling for a draw.
Draw.
These things happen. Somebody understood the joke. Thank you. I appreciate that. I won't be here all weekend. Don't tip your waiters.
Yes.
So they're calling for the
What
draw
it looks like.
from second Becca Myers for her first stone.
All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way.
Skip is saying that it looks light to her. I think I concur.
That's fine. If it comes up light, I want it to the left.
Yeah, it's
All the way.
crossing the center
Yeah.
line already, and after it
far as it
crosses, then it curls a lot. She
Well.
wants it to be real close to that red, but I guess she didn't get it there.
She got to the top. Well, yeah, she's in the top 8.
It's not
sitting
too
at
bad.
No, it's going to be useful later on in the end.
Top 8. Top 12, sign 2. It's just the line.
So, guard. It looks like Janine is asking Gretchen Cha-Cha to put up a guard.
2 rocks in the house and the hammer.
Makes sense. Guard is the play. Okay, we got our score on sheet C. The Lucky Charms out of the Chesapeake Curling Club, skipped by Fisher, took a 1 to go up 2-1 over Julie Hershey's Irish Ice Team from Potomac.
That was a little bit heavy and ended up hitting her own rock and sending it back.
But it ticked off that yellow that was in the back. So
Back, let's try the hit. Okay?
not the red is not the third stone, but
And Maggie's call, of course, is to try to take that shot rock out. If she gets the shot correctly, then she can even get 2 of them out and be shot.
they're not laying a broom on it.
Leave it.
I think she's hoping for a little bit more curl back. Oh, it's developing nicely. I think she's got at least 1. Yeah, she just got the 1. It crossed the face of the other one.
Yeah, ended up curling too much.
Nice shot.
Yep. So with the exception of our game on sheet A, all of our games are currently 1-point games after 3 ends. Honestly, in the 5 and under tournaments in the first round, that's something of a rarity. Blowouts are kind of common sometimes in these because you end up with teams that have 4 or 5 years of experience against teams with 1, 2 years experience.
Yeah, even some of the 5 years players are curling in play downs. They're curling in club nationals. They're not very experienced, but they're very good curlers.
Yes.
They don't have many years of experience, but the quality of their play is on par with many of the great curlers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a given that of the 124 curlers that you'll see over the course of this weekend here at the Childs, 1 or 2 of them will at least 1 or 2 of them will probably be playing at the very least at club nationals or even open nationals sometime in the next few years. This is for many people, this is their first step on the way. If you look at the trophy for the Child's Challenge, you'll see some names of some national champions on that trophy.
I know, my accent. I'm sorry. I'll work on it.
Maggie wants to draw around that red rock that's on the center line. If the shot is successful, then it's protected behind that red and in front of the other red, and it makes it a lot harder to take it out.
Yes, relax.
Absolutely agree. As they do not have the hammer this end, they want to do what they can.
And it's a little bit heavy, so it's going to be.
It's going to hit that red one.
Maybe that
up
was
top.
her intention.
It's going to pop that red one, drag it through.
It's all right. All right.
Actually,
There's a lineup for a very fun shot there.
yeah.
You see what I see, right?
Absolutely. I see
Yellow into red and a double.
Actually, I see yellow into red into red.
Put it back.
But I curl with a stick, so my opinions are not valid. Looks like we're just that Janine is just asking Ingrid Lux to just put another one in the center there.
Oh, go for all the points. You have only 1. You have hammer.
Well, but that stone, wow, that dove. That right there shows the difference between that second end ice and this fourth end ice.
Oh, it
And
lost
then it
its handle, right?
lost its handle and came back. That stone followed a very strange path.
She wanted it in the house, but she got the good guard for the rocks that she has there.
Right. Okay.
Maggie's not going for the double
No.
run back.
No, I'm kind of disappointed actually, but oh well. She's just looking to hit it out from the outside coming in.
If she had a player like the Norwegians have this week, they were practicing heavy takeouts, and they ended up splitting a rock in half.
I saw that on the Facebook. That was you wouldn't think that'd be possible, but some serious granite moving there. They've got the sweepers on this fast, trying to hold the line, get it past the guards.
That's on the yellow.
Is it? Or is it just past? Yes, it is. It ticked the front one up, promoted that one over. The shooter rolls out of play. Pretty sure red is still sitting shot. Gotta be careful when I say that.
Can you see this? I want to hit it here. Yeah? It's more than your other takeout that you had before.
She's asking for a lot of weight there.
She is asking for a lot of weight on this hit.
No.
Or it's a
Yes,
draw.
now.
It's a draw, not a hit, right?
It's a I think it's a
Yes, yes,
takeout.
yes, you got it. You
Taking
got
out
it.
her own stone?
No, take out the yellow.
Oh,
It's okay.
I was screened. Yep,
Nice
and
shot.
moved perfectly through.
And keeps the lanes open for her shots.
And that shooter rolls not quite out of play, apparently.
Even though on the overhead it looks like it's completely out. If
Yeah.
you look at it straight from above, and then you can see that it's not
My
really out.
thought is if
Yeah.
I come in too hard, then I can at least pick that.
Nice shot.
So we've also got joining us here in the broadcast booth, Mike Sell, another Potomac Curling Club who's joining us on the broadcast here. How you doing, Mike? Welcome to the Childs.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to be here. I was actually scheduled to be here at the beginning of this draw, but luckily, or hopefully, also all of our teams visiting us from out of town didn't have to drive around the Beltway to get here today.
So we're going to draw.
Yeah, there were some definite traffic problems. Everybody made it, so that's good. And you know, let's take it out of your pay.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I'm only going to get paid half for that draw, yeah.
Exactly. So, a lot of close games so far, Mike. You're missing some interesting curling.
And this line was pretty fast.
So what's Maggie's call here? Is she drawing through that gap between the red and the yellow, or is she trying to promote her own yellow rock?
At that
Seems
speed,
pretty heavy.
At that speed, it's a promote, or maybe she's just going for a
No,
clean,
up, up, up,
for
For
a
a straight takeout on the red
back.
shot rock.
Got a curl.
She needs some movement.
Kick that back one out.
It's-
Get
See
ready.
if it goes this way.
And all it did, unfortunately, was made that one better. But it did make a potential takeout with their second stone.
A lot easier
A lot
because it's just a
easier.
nose hit there.
Yeah.
I want to sit like here. I want to out count this.
There's something that I
I
could
want
have
to
done.
sit here. If I can tuck behind that,
Just didn't throw
that's
it,
what
right?
yeah, I mean, at the very least,
It
if
was
I
sitting
come
too
back
far
here,
out.
that's fine too.
For what? We should count for that. I throw one.
Right about here. Yeah. I mean, if we sit on this too, that's not terrible, right? So, yeah. All right, let's see what happens.
Okay, so
Calls a draw.
calls the draw to put another stone, put a second
got a
stone
lot
in.
of backing.
She has the hammer this
We
end,
got a lot of backing on that side.
so this
I
is only
wanna
her
draw
first
down.
stone of the end.
Ideally, I'd like to be tucked behind that center line guard. If I end up sitting on that back red, that's okay too. But if we can tuck in there, that'd be even better.
And it's kind of awesome the way Janine explains the shot in detail to her front end, so they should know exactly what's going on. So there should be no questions about what you're trying to do here.
Is the ice still the same? Is it slowed
Yeah,
down
that's
at
something
all?
that I've seen a lot of people do.
A little bit? Okay.
Like maybe it's more
But not,
common
like,
with
crazy.
some of the newer curlers, either because it's something they wish their skips did when they play front end, and some of with the more experienced players, or not. But I know I try to do it just because I've been on the other end of that where I'm sweeping a stone and I don't know where I'm supposed to put it.
Yeah, and more importantly, you also don't know what the plan B is in case
Right.
something bad happens. So her stone is on the way. The sweepers are on it pretty hard. Are they going to get past that top guard?
I can't see much with the players here.
Just
Oh,
barely.
Wow,
They made
that's a
that
great
by
shot.
All the way.
So I accept it.
As far as you can,
All the
as far as
sweeping
you
they had to
can.
put on it might,
gotta get past that
went
guard.
long
Yeah.
because they couldn't not sweep, because if they'd not swept, they would have. I mean, they would have hit
Oh
the
yeah,
guard.
no, they did everything they had to pull it around the guard, and by doing so, they did pull it into the back eight there.
Exactly. Now, they do have the hammer, so they've got another stone this end. So, depending on what Maggie Churlo does with this last stone, Red could be in a position where they may have a shot for an awful lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, red is sitting one at the moment, but it's that yellow one in the top eight that isn't undercover or anything really.
Yeah.
and it's just that yellow between red and 5 at the moment.
Exactly.
Really.
One.
So,
And force them to draw it out. So we're going to follow them down and just sit on top of theirs, okay?
and you can actually hear Janine discussing that possibility with her vice.
Just sitting.
Let's see what Maggie Churlo can do with this.
Maggie shots off.
Yes.
Seems a little wide. Let's see if it's going to curl back.
That just slowed down a lot all of a sudden. It seemed like it was a lot faster. Now I'm not even sure that's going to make the house.
As far as it'll go.
You want to try that?
Okay, it makes the
And
house.
Janine has that option for the high-scoring play, which is
Because we could potentially
hitting the yellow out, and she can score 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5.
Four, maybe 5. 4 for
Maybe
sure.
5 because
Maybe
the yellow and
5.
the red in the back are pretty
So
close
maybe
to
a
each
little
other.
more.
Yeah.
I'd rather crash the guard than nose this and take that out and leave that for one.
And she's being very intelligent about making sure that the bailout plan is in place.
Right here.
Yeah,
Like I
she
said,
really
I'd
has to
rather
hit that
crash
yellow
the
rock
guard
on the inside,
than take this into
closer
this
to
and leave it
the
for one.
center line, to be able to stay and not have that yellow crash into the reds in the back, which would be a big problem. But, you know, if you're curling from the center line out, you might get more curl than you expected, and she might end up crashing and destroying everything that she built in this.
Yeah, I'm
and
not actually certain that I would curl from the center line out of this. I might come from the outside in,
I'm going to come this way.
because that
If I
just
crash
seems
the
like a
guard,
line that
we're
might
fine, we're
be
sitting 3. Yeah.
might just be safer.
especially with that long guard there, I would come from the outside.
Yeah. But
Yeah, and from what we've seen, where they seem to move more off the center line
narrow
than
is
to the
better
center line,
than
I think it's
wide.
maybe more predictable to come towards the center line. I
I-
think they're not sure how much this is going to curl, and if it runs straight, they hit the guard, and if it over curls, they hit nothing, or just promote the yellow in and give up another steal.
right. Well, they've made it. Oh, she's
Behind the thing and I couldn't get it.
thinking. Yep. Nope. She's all back to it. Okay.
Try to tell me something, Linda.
Stone is on the way. It's got a
And
pretty
she's
good
far
hit.
enough into the other side that might
Got
get
the sweep.
exactly what she
They
wants.
get the sweeps not quick. Oh no, that dove. That's gonna miss everything. Or is it gonna maybe chip that yellow into the worst case? It chips the
She actually gave up a lot of points because that rock curled way too much, way more than she expected.
Yes. Now the question is, red one or yellow one? Looks to me like yellow, and they agreed pretty quickly. I think I think the overcurl bit her, and she gave up another steal there.
Sometimes you get too greedy, you end up giving up what you already had in your pocket.
Yeah.
She already had, what, 2?
Is that from a rock?
It looks like
Probably 2.
it. Carry something on it.
Oh, they're thinking. Okay,
Wow.
so they're thinking to pick something up on the ice. Okay. That would explain that
That
move.
will explain it, yeah.
Absolutely.
And you see that even at the highest
Oh,
level. You
absolutely.
see someone going for a big takeout in the Briar and misses the takeout, even though the throw was perfect.
Center guard.
Yep. Okay, so that makes our score after 4 ends 4-2 in favor of the Misfit Takeouts, the team from Potomac,
Center,
skipped by
right,
Maggie
right
Shirlow,
up.
over the Curling Colleens from Philadelphia, Janine Fermander's team. So other games are just wrapping up their 4th ends now. We'll get you scores as soon as we can.
Little narrow. Where? Yes. If it's a 5, let it go. Bring it all the way in. It's gonna sit up on the side, which is even better.
Definitely going to be in the house.
All right, up.
I'm concerned it's
Let
going to
it
be
sit.
through because it seems like it has a lot of speed on it.
Nice shot.
Oh, it's still in the back there, back
Yeah,
forward.
Okay, I must have missed it. They're curling away from the broadcast center right now, so once it gets down to the far end of the ice, it can be a little difficult for us to judge. Curling Colleens lead Ashlyn Basiri throwing her first stone of this 5th end. These are 8-end games, so we're basically we just left halftime.
Up.
Hope you enjoyed the halftime entertainment, and we'll see what's going on here.
Guys,
Center line guard, or did that make that? Yeah.
sorry about that shot.
made the
I
house.
should have
Did
thrown
not
it
make the
away.
No, that's a
And
pretty
then
close
we
guard,
would've
but
had
it's
3.
still outside.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a score update over on sheet A. In the 4th end, Linda Kirkman's team hung up a 3. So that makes that score after 4, 5-4 the Virginia monologues from the from the Curling Club of Central Virginia are
Yeah,
still
good
up,
arrow.
5-4 after 4.
Hurry hard, you got it, ladies, you got it, hurry hard. Up, let it drip, let it drip.
Our other 2 games are also in the 5th end, but they have not
You got
hung their
your center
4th end
guard?
scores yet, so I can't catch up.
All right, here we go. Right in behind, top of the house. Yes for line, yes for line. Up.
Managed to curl around that guard, but it was way too heavy
Wait.
to stay in the house.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm not actually quite sure why she actually put the broom on that. I think I might have.
Might have hit it a little bit and
ticked. Yeah.
Yeah, or-
ticked maybe into the yellow.
Yeah, or if anything, just use the rub to slow that rock down a little bit.
Exactly.
And split it into the house or something.
Absolutely.
I want the draw again.
Okay, so Maggie's asking her second, Becca Myers, to draw into the house. Put a 3rd stone in play. When in doubt,
Line
load
good.
the house.
Where are we at?
The 4th was just hung on C, by the way, since I'm sitting over on this side, and I just noticed that. And that was another 1 for Irish Ice, the Julie Hershey rank.
So
And
that's
so that, yeah, that's a 2-2 game
Wow.
through 4.
Right, all the way to
That's
the
a-
line,
that's
all the
a
way, all the
tight
way, all the
game.
way. All right.
truthfully, again,
Good job.
all of these
Hi,
games.
sweet lady.
Actually, all of these games are tight now. The game on A had been looking like it might have turned into a blowout, but then Linda Kirkman managed to pull back, and that one's even a tight game. So these are all, for the first draw, we have some excellent curling here.
I'm glad we did that.
Yes, yes for line. Let's go for the tap. Hold it.
Now for Gretchen's shot,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the weight looks like she might have called a draw, but it looks like a guard.
So, yeah, she's going to, if she makes contact at all, she's going to tap that Yellowstone.
Okay.
Promote it just the slightest little bit, but that doesn't change the picture at the end.
Put a
at
guard.
all.
I'm going to cut from inside out.
Maggie calling for the draw inside out. That's an
Actually,
intern
she asked for a guard.
from the center line.
She's asking for a guard
For a guard, yeah.
in front of those two hanging out there, one on the edge of the 8, one on the edge 12.
Yes, sweep it.
But
Let's
that's
go
not
for
going to
tap
curl
instead.
nearly that much. I don't know if that stone was thrown
All the way,
wide.
It's pretty
all the way,
heavy.
all the way, all the
It's
way.
about
And
T-line weight.
She also threw very wide on the broom.
Up.
So she's going to hit her own yellow.
Yeah, if it sneaks between the reds.
Actually, it did not hit the reds. It split the reds.
Split the reds, but promoted her yellow.
Yep. So
We
that
can use it.
yellow's lying 2. I'm pretty sure red is the 3rd stone right now.
Let's nose this,
But that 3rd
Gretchen.
shot is wide open. So there's a lot of rocks left this end.
Up weight.
Calling a heavy hit on the front yellow there, and hopefully get the double.
Let me get them both out of the way.
If she can hit slightly on the inside, she's asking for nose. I don't think that nose might take both out. Slightly right of nose would give her the easy double
Now
there.
they put the sweepers on it immediately.
Yes.
And she's calling them to sweep pretty hard. I think
It's
that's
curling a
crossing-
lot.
That's crossing the center line.
That is. Wow. On a
I
hit.
curled a ton. A whole lot.
Yeah, that was at least like board weight. That even when that hit the back line, that was still moving a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you probably heard
wanna guard.
Janine talking in the back going, wow, that curled a whole lot. So, I mean, that even caught her by surprise.
So they want you to sit
Can't
on
really
the
blame
line.
the shooter for that because that stone curled way more than anybody expected it to. So let's see what Maggie Churlo does with the gift.
Miriam's first rock. Looks like she wants to protect that. And if it curls too much, it's one more in the house.
Have weight.
Yeah. They're putting a little bit of broom on it.
Look up.
Yeah, it's curling a lot. She better
Alright,
bring
bring
that in.
Yeah, so that straight ice we were seeing in the first couple of ends is definitely gone now. We're getting that stone probably curled about 4 feet on a top 12 weight.
Thank you.
Actually, more than 4 feet.
Ingrid, what do you think of trying this
Yeah,
again?
that curled from one end of the 4 foot to the other. So that's about a 4 foot curl on that
No.
top 12.
What do you think?
Yes, conventional wisdom is that the 4 foot circle is
Is
approximately 4 feet
Right,
across.
yeah. I went to college for 6 years to learn that kind of stuff.
They taught curling at your college?
It was Illinois. These things happen.
I'm jealous.
Ingrid Lux's first stone of the end.
Yeah, it looks like they're taking that last one into account and throwing this sort of hit weight, but way outside, and it is coming back.
And it's actually going to it got their hit, but just nosed the back one. So it took the back one out. The front one just replaced the back one, basically.
Yeah, it's enough that I think red is second now.
I think you're probably right.
You're
It looks
right.
like-
We can see
yeah.
some blue inside of that yellow there, and we can't see any blue inside of the red rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there is any blue there, it's definitely less than under the yellow.
So
there,
right now, yellow is shooting is shot. The red stone is number 2. Yellow is 3, 4, 5. So that red stone is probably explains exactly why Maggie Churlo is asking for that red stone to be gotten rid of by Miriam Chernenko's second stone. At least I thought that was the call, but judging from the performance of the stone,
No,
that was not what she called.
Looks like the call was a draw, but they're going to lose the line here, I think.
All the way. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Maybe we can tap it up. All the way,
They
all the
might
way,
tap
all the
up
way.
that center guard.
Rubbed off the red, promoted that.
Another
Now
one in the
I'm not.
house.
Now I'm not quite so sure about whether that red stone is 2. That yellow that they just tapped up the slightest little bit might have just become the second stone. It's hard to say. For those of you watching at home, just remember those cameras that we have are not guaranteed to be 100% accurate. They're pretty close. They did a really good job hanging those up, but the official word is on the ice. So
They did do a good job hanging them up, but they have been hanging for, what, about 13 years now?
Yeah.
They're not exactly where they were when they were put up.
true. There was that earthquake. And Dean Frander asked her.
And now we have a new shot stone.
We do indeed. But that yellow stone is now definitely 3. So red is 1, yellow is 2 and 3. Red is probably 4. Yellow is 5, 6, and 7. Red is 8. There's another red stone in front of the house, which is 9, and there's still 4 stones to play. So we have 13 to 16 stones in play at this point at the end.
So what does
saying.
Maggie want to do now?
Punt? I don't know.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm still not sure.
Go for the shot
I was
rock.
going to say, it looks probably a hit and roll, I think.
Straight hit,
Great
Honestly,
shot.
yeah, that red
Hit them.
shot is actually very wide open, isn't it? Okay. I'm overthinking.
I want to come the other way.
But she makes the
In
decision
case we overcurl, I can hit mine.
she makes the decision to come from the outside in, which, given the way the ice has been behaving, I think is absolutely the right call. And
I
also,
think so, especially because it will run a little bit straighter for the hit weight. And you heard her make the announcement of sort of the
if I
plan B.
overcurl,
What
yeah,
if I
if I overcurl, I'll tap mine up. This is not going to overcurl. She threw it wide. She may actually hit her yellow one
She
over.
will
on the
hit
other
her.
side.
No, she will hit the red, and she will roll to the right.
Take it in.
Oh, no.
Oh, that. Lots of stones moved. Hang on 1 second. We figure out what happened here.
She did take out a red stone. It was not the one she was looking for.
Not bad either.
So the red shot is still, well,
What do you think
shot.
it's sitting on?
And yellow is
however,
2, 3, 4,
4,
5, and 6.
I still wanna
And
leave this
red
here.
has the hammer this end.
I mean, lighter is fine
So, but on the
Any
other
of
hand,
those 3
red had the
options.
hammer last end also, and come to think of it, in the second as well.
With Janine trailing by 2, she will be very tempted to score 2 in this end at least. And I think that the shot to do that is to tap the other one back. She's looking at the freeze as an option, but I think that sending her red back would be a better shot there.
I don't think I'd send it back very far. I actually think I prefer the freeze. Because if I froze to that red and Maggie Churlo went in and hit the pair, I'm pretty sure my second red stone would be shot at the end of that exchange.
Hoping that your freeze will be perfect. If it's not perfect, it's an easy double.
Admittedly, but on the other hand,
if you throw it back 4-weight, you can have your shooter hide behind the yellow on the right and have the red that's already there go to the other side behind the other 2 yellow.
But if you're too heavy, you're going to promote your red clean through the house.
And leave an easy target.
Leave an easy target. So there's lots of bad things that can happen here. And hello, Sal. Hello, Sal. Welcome to the game. Danny Lynn is asking for an update on D. Okay, they are in the 5th end.
Yes, they did finally hang the 4th. The 4th was 2 more for the red team. You'll know. Tell me which team is red.
Okay, so Bucks County, skipped by Lynn, is now up 6-3 over Chessie's girls from Weisgerber.
Okay.
Or skipped by Weisgerber. I'm sorry. I still don't know which club Chessie's girls are from. I really should find that out. Okay, so Janine's first stone is on its way.
Yes. Whoops.
Oop. A little bit of a slip, but the stone was long gone. I think she's just trying to play the freeze with a little bit of tap action like you were talking about, Enrique. She got the sweepers on it.
I know.
It's coming in right on the right
It's
spot.
a little
there.
heavy.
I wanted to stay on nose. I didn't want to hit on the side.
But
It's enough to be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It almost certainly is.
Okay.
And it's not an easy double anymore.
Just go with it.
No, that's all. There's
That's-
enough separation. It's the right angle for a double, but that's a lot of separation.
Yeah, nose hit would get the double here.
Yeah, that's about a 5 foot. That's about a 5 foot raise for the double. That's a lot of ask at this level of curling. It's doable. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, and
But
even
that's
if
a
you
lot of ask.
and if you try for the double and all you do is just peel out that top one, that's still a great shot. I mean,
Yeah,
it leaves the
particularly-
one exposed in the back.
Right.
So I mean, if I was the skip, I would be setting that up
Yes,
just to try that. But
and it looks like what she's thinking about. So this would be Maggie Churlow's last shot of the end. Right now, she's looking at red having 2, probably. That yellow in the back 8 might be outscoring it, but I'm pretty sure red's lying too.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure.
I appreciate your certainty. Okay, well, Maggie has made up her mind what she's doing.
Arrow on the broom too.
Let's see what she has to say.
Yeah.
Heavy hit, center line.
Because there's that button, we're not going to be able to hit it. But if we can hit the top one
sorry?
and stay out of the way, then we can't draw it.
Yeah.
They're looking to at least hit the top one, and
You know what?
you know, the logic is great. I mean, even if they only get
Sydney
1,
swear
that
word
means
yet, so.
worst case, red gets 2.
And you have 1 right in the middle there, unless you hit it at an angle.
Right. Well,
She
stone's
threw it
on its
very
way.
heavy and a little bit wide, I think.
I think you're right. I don't think that's going to come back enough to get any. Ew, that's going to hit this yellow one on the outside. What's that? What's going to happen from there? That hits that into that.
Oh, no.
Now there's no question.
now
Red
there's no
lies
question.
2.
It's red 2, and it opens up pretty much the whole right side of the house to
Yeah.
touch the 8 foot for 3.
Exactly.
To the blue. I wouldn't go further than that.
That was not Maggie's desired result from that shot by any stretch of the imagination. So both teams have now had a situation where the skip's last stone has turned a salvageable situation into a big number for the other team, or at least a number for the other team.
We're just gonna draw.
So, yep, Janine just says straight out, she says, I'm going to draw.
Oh yeah, she only has to touch the 8 foot here, so
Right.
just make sure you just take all the ice you need and then some, because you don't know really how far it's going to move.
Yep.
But you don't have to put this anywhere near the pin if you can.
Yep. Or halfway.
So she's just looking for the draw.
It's just a question of weight now.
Yep.
Yeah, sweepers got on it pretty quick, but I think that was proactive against weirdness in the ice or picking something up.
Yep.
Yeah, when you're
It-
outside.
It does look like it's going to stop moving any second now, though. I'm not sure that they got it
I
there.
don't think they got the weight. I think she left it short.
Okay.
They're still working it,
this
but
way,
it's
They,
that's
yeah,
short.
that's a 2 guard.
So after 5, we're tied at 4. Yep. After 5 ends, we are tied at 4 between the Misfit Takeouts and the Colleens.
And an update on sheet A.
I'm trying to figure out,
The
like,
team in
time.
yellow,
Like,
that's
Team yellow is the Potomac team, Potomac from Linda.
They
Linda
stole
Kirkland.
1 point, and the game's tied after 5.
Okay.
At 9 o'clock?
So that game's
One
tied
more
5-5.
after. Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, you probably heard the skips talking in the background about how many more games. These games are scheduled for 8 ends, but there is a time clock. They had an hour and 40 minutes from when they started their first end. At that hour and 40-minute mark, they'll finish the end they're on and play one more complete end. So the way these games are sitting right now, in terms of time, they might get the full 8. They may only get 7. It's hard to tell.
Ideally, they should spend 15 minutes on each end, and if they don't have some hard shots here that require a lot of thinking, they will be able to start the 7th
Okay, so actually,
before 9 p.m.
Yeah, I'm being told the official cut time is 9 p.m. So they got 19 minutes to play an end. As long as nothing really weird happens, there should be no problem. So honestly, it looks like all of these games are likely to be able to go 8. Now, of course, if one team gets ridiculously ahead, they can concede early or anything like that. But the way these games are going, I'm not betting on that.
Except for sheet D, all the games are tied or a 1-point game.
And even D is only a 2-point game. So that's none of these games are out of hand by any stretch of the imagination. And apparently we do have Danny Lynn rooting for the Bucks County team over on sheet D. So we'll be sure to keep that we'll keep that up to date as much as we can. They have finished the 5th end over there. We just don't know what the score is.
Yeah, they hung the 5th end.
The 5th on D was 1 yellow, so it is 6-4.
6-4 over on D?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your sheet D update.
And they hung the 5th on C now. One more for the Irish Ice, the Hershey and Potomac. So now they are leading 3-2 after 5. I think you may have actually said that one already.
Even if I did, we said it again, so it's all good. So there we go. The the second.
No.
Okay. The second red lead stone of the end, Ashley Basiri.
No.
They currently have a corner guard on the left-hand side of the sheet. And this one looks like it's going to be through the house. Yep. So
Janine was hoping that would stop at least in the back of the house, but it didn't.
no,
Take a little off, please.
just a little too heavy.
And would like to thank our 44 viewers.
Wow, we're up to 44 viewers. That's awesome. So feel free, folks, to share this on your Facebooks, let your friends know, etc. We're going to be broadcasting at least one game from every single draw, the length of this tournament. From now through the finals are, I believe, Sunday at noon. So there'll be another game about 15 minutes after this one is over. And we'll just be going all day tomorrow, all day Saturday, and I believe there's either 2 or 3 draws on Sunday. It's going to take a lot of games to get through 31 teams.
Gretchen, let's come in right up here.
And
Actually, over
okay,
here.
Sal's rooting for the curling Colleens from Philadelphia. They're the team in red, currently tied up. What do we got going on here? Just another, trying to
draw around that guard.
Well, that's not
and
going to
into
happen.
the house.
That stone cut. That stone
Then you
cut.
go for the
That's
promote.
gonna
Make a nice
so now
tap
it's going to be
here.
a tap promote.
All right.
Didn't
Oh,
quite
it
get
just.
in.
Is
Or
it
did
That's
it?
a biter.
It's a biter.
Yeah, that probably is a biter.
Super straight.
Maybe.
What do we do?
Close enough.
I
that's for
thought they
sure.
were going to get a lot more than that. Even. I thought that was going to be full 12-foot, and
Yeah.
made me look silly.
Ice works.
That stone, again, though, that stone took a sharp left-hand turn, really suddenly, actually, right-hand turn. Really suddenly there. I'm not quite sure what's up with that stone. So I think is that the same stone that picked a couple months ago?
No, I don't think so. Now Maggie was calling for about 4.5 feet of curl.
Fear better.
Wonder
Yes,
if
come on. Yes,
and
come on.
here it comes. It was going pretty straight for the first 2/3 of the trip, but once it started moving, well, actually hers did not move anywhere near as much as the other one did, but then again, it's also 12 feet further because it's got to be just hanging around Is it actually hanging around?
It probably is a biter in the back.
Same thing, Gretchen.
I think I see white, but it's
yeah,
definitely still in play.
That's where the angle tricks you.
Yeah.
Because of the angle from the camera under the rock.
I completely believe you. You'll notice they're leaving the stone in play, so there's at least doubt in their mind.
Oh, well, it's definitely not all the way over the back line.
That's a true
I
thing.
think the question is just whether it's touching the 12-foot
Right.
circle there or not.
And it's okay. We have a stick for that in case it matters later.
Yes.
So we have two very slight biters. Or not.
Touch it. Don't touch
Or not,
it.
yeah. 2, maybe.
Somewhere between
Leave it
0 and
sitting
2
here,
rocks
that's
in the
fine.
house right now.
Thank you, Mike.
On its own, on its own, on its
So
own. Let it
this
curl.
Now Janine called
Let's let it
might be a
curl.
little heavy, but it has backing.
That's true. It's actually going to take advantage of that yellow stone over there.
Going to use that rock, and that
boom.
one is definitely in the house.
Yes.
So now we have 1 to 2 rocks in the house.
Now you saw that Maggie was sweeping that rock, not only because she was trying to get it as far back as she could, but she knew it was going to hit hers, and she didn't want hers to stay as backing for the red rock that came in. So she can throw the same shot, and she will get the red out. If the yellow has stayed behind it, it might have thrown the red into yellow, and red stays there.
Well,
Don't touch
she's
it.
throwing plenty of weight. Question is it going to come back enough? I think she may have thrown too much weight. Well, here it comes. Starting to move now. Starting to move now. Is
Not
she
gonna hit it.
No, it's going to just come
Wait,
back
get
to
a
center.
No. Unfortunately, that was the difference between throwing back 12 weight and throwing effectively. That was about a hack weight shot.
Here, lighter is better. Here's fine.
It may not be what the books would call hack weight, but it was to the hack.
Yeah.
Literal hack weight.
So Janine is asking
To draw behind the guard.
draw behind the guard.
Draw behind the guard. And if it curls too much, she can just tap the guard in.
Yeah, and she also said short was okay too.
That's
But
not short.
This is not short.
Let it work.
Here comes,
That's probably on the back one.
Here comes the movement. The stone really starts to move about 2/3 of the way down the sheet coming this way.
Oh, it's really slowing down a lot. This is going to
This is going to hang around.
maybe
it might be
bury
a freeze on
kinda
that back
nicely
12.
Okay.
quite bury.
Wait.
That's a good outcome.
Kind of hangs out in no man's land. That stone can be got. But it looks like Maggie's just calling for a draw, a slightly better draw than that last draw. She's calling for slightly less ice, which makes sense. There's no real guards to be a concern about on this line or anything. So, okay, we got Josh Legelet, who's rooting for the Virginia Monologues over on sheet A. And in case you just joined us, Josh, you'd be happy to know that their game is tied at 5 after 5.
All the way, all the way, all the way. Up. No, up, up, up.
And that curled early and curled too much. It was a little bit light.
Yeah, it was light, yeah. So you
So-
can see that
I really like
the
a
curl
guard
right now
here.
is definitely weight specific. The more the lighter it's a truism in curling. The lighter you throw, the more it'll curl. And this one was a 2-guard. So Janine's calling for the old standby. Put another one in the house. She's got 2, maybe 3, right now already in.
And if it's light, it's a good guard.
Exactly.
Is it over?
And this may be
too light to be a guard.
I believe we have our first hogstone of the child.
The first two.
Yes, we do. That stone did not make the hog line. It is out of play.
We're making up for it on the back end.
I know.
Try it again. If you're heavy, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so Maggie's asking for
Still that draw in front
still
of the
that draw
red
in
there.
front. She said if you're heavy, it's okay, and I don't know that I agree with her at this point. Heavy is not anything to be on these shots.
Because heavy doesn't curl as much, so she
Right.
might just flash it. But I think that it's good.
It's starting to come now. Reaches about that 2/3 point. Starts to move.
Okay.
I think she's going to hit that
Reaches the
red
center
that's
line.
shot.
Yeah, it's gonna chip it, I think. And the yellow rolls out of play. The red stone is still in play, and actually the red stone actually just got
I still
buried.
want that center guard.
That red stone is now not,
The line I gave
you're
you
not
was
taking
okay,
that
right?
redstone out without
So here is center.
without some severe intervention.
That's Janine called for her own shot. She called the center line guard. She wants to protect the house.
If it's
And
fighting,
she gave
okay,
about 3
out to
foot,
your
just
side
over
too.
3 feet of curl.
Anywhere on the center line.
So she's saying she's not really too concerned about the length as long as she gets the center line. I think she'd be perfectly happy if she just nibbled the top 12 foot. I think that would be her ideal result.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the end, when there's no free guard zone, there's no reason not to put your rock in the house. And there's no Yellowstones to worry about at the moment. Her rocks are all the way in the back, so being in the top is still a lot of separation to prevent the double.
So good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, top 12 foot probably is the best spot right now.
So we're wending our way through the 6th end in all 4 of our games right now. They're all on the skip stones in this
Bring it now.
end.
So it looks like we're going to make it into 8 ends in every
Yeah,
sheet.
these are all going to get 8 ends, no question. Okay,
Right
so
there.
she
Let it go.
got the center line guard she was asking for.
It's a
Might be
2 guard.
Yeah, it might be a little higher than she really wanted, but, honestly, that's going to do the job.
When you hear us talking about 1 guard, 2 guard, 3 guard, if you're not the curler, I'll give an explanation. It's about guard is a rock that's between the hog line, the thick line up front, and the top of the rings. And the 1 guard would be the 3rd closest to the thick line, the hog line. The 2 would be the 3rd in the middle, and the 3 would be the last 3rd closest to the house.
That is as far as we need to be. Ready?
Okay, Maggie throwing her first skips stone of this critical 6th end. They're looking to draw in and hopefully curl behind the cover. It seems like it's way too heavy. I think it's just going to go through the house. It's never even going to get back to the center line. That shot is through. That was too heavy.
So when I said plenty of weight,
So I kind of just want to come around that. I'd rather bury than leave it out to hit on.
No problem, Sal. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. That's what the chat's there for. We know that lots of people get fascinated by curling every 4 years, or they may know somebody who's in these things, who's in these tournaments. So any questions you have, please ask them. We'll answer them as fast as you do.
Go for the nose. Yeah.
Okay, so this shot with Janine's last shot here in this 6th end of 8. They're calling for yet another.
Tuck behind there. There's a lot of space. So if we don't, then they could do it. What I don't want to do is leave it way out on the left. So I'd rather nose the guard than leave it way out on the left.
And that's the advantage of having our skips mic. She just explained the shot way better than I
If
can.
it comes to that.
Okay, so on sheet D, they've just finished the 6th. Red was shot, and now I believe they're going to take a measure for which of these 3 rocks biting the 4 foot is second.
Oh my.
It looks like from here, I think it's going to be 1 more for red, and then the yellow. And so it'll be 2 red to put them up 8-4. But
they are.
They are.
I see them going again the measuring stick. So
Yeah. No, and I don't blame them because, I mean, 1 red and 3 red is a big difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, meanwhile, this
Ended up losing the guard.
Janine's shot ended up losing the guard, so
We'll see what happens.
that pretty much opens up the draw line for Maggie Churlo to get out of this end, get her 1.
And she can shoot anywhere within the 8-foot circle, and she's going to score her 1. That's the maximum that she can
So
score
right now she's trying to decide which way she wants to curl. She wants to come that way. I am not sure I agree with this. I think
I don't like that.
I
I
would have
really
come the
don't
other
like
way
that.
because then you would have had the backing.
Yes, if you're heavy, you have backing. If you miss your shot, because she's drawing against 3 now.
And
if she's heavy, it's 3 points for red.
And for that matter, she has thrown. I mean, they've been throwing this the turn, this turn all end. I don't know why they're choosing this moment.
To change, and maybe she thinks that there's more real estate to curl into, but it's not. It's the same on both sides.
Maybe, or maybe she's concerned with the speed of that line. If she keeps throwing it through, that maybe she doesn't have draw weight on that line.
But backing.
I mean, if it's not going to curl
I
at
think
that
it's
weight,
heavy.
though.
And I got to be honest, I don't like the looks of this stone.
Yeah, not only does it.
Well, I don't know. It's
okay.
She's getting the.
It is coming off the guard.
Question is it going to be light enough to hang around?
And what we feared happened. So she gives up 3 when she could have a chance. That's 3.
Yep, that's 3.
That's
okay.
in, yep.
So that is 3. That actually blows this game open a little bit. Now it's 7-4 after 6 in favor of the curling Colleens. That may have been a critical error. And like we said, that's kind of, these are all new curlers. Maggie is only in, I believe, her 3rd year of curling.
3rd or 4th?
3rd, but possibly 4th. But, you know, those are the kinds of things that sometimes you see. She just didn't think her way through that as much as maybe she'll want to later when she thinks about it later.
We curl a lot with Maggie's husband.
Yes.
With Chip Cherlow on Men's League.
I'm actually moderately surprised Chip is not in the chat.
Chip, are you watching this? Maybe he's in here.
I think he's actually here somewhere.
He's here somewhere? Okay, that would explain it then.
It looks heavy. No.
So we're starting the 7th end now here on Sheet B. Actually, all of our games are starting the 7th.
I think the measure, I think I did see one of the vices hold up 2 fingers and say that it was 2 on Sheet D.
For red?
Yes, for red.
Okay, assuming that's correct, that means that Bucks County just made their fans very, very, very happy because they are now up 8-4 after 6 over Chessie's girls. The 6th end score has also been hung over on Sheet A, which Linda Kirkman's Potomali team took a 1, another steal to go up 6-5 after 6.
And the 6th was hung on Sheet C. The Lucky Charms, skipped by Joanne Fisher, got a 2 to go up 4-3 at the end of 6 over the Julie Hershey Irish Ice Rink.
Excellent.
I gotta clear that guard. All the way for line. All the way for line. Sorry, roll to the middle.
Okay, so as you can see, we're a couple stones in. We're 2 stones in fact, to this 7th end of 8. All of these games did in fact start their 7th end before the bell. So these games will all be going 8 unless there's a concession earlier.
Or there's a tie and then they play a 9.
Tie, in which case they play a 9.
No.
That's a true statement.
Nope. No. We're going to wick off. Take the wick.
So we have a slight wick going on here, a little bit of a promote.
All right.
But still nothing in the house. So now we have 3 guards in front of the house.
Also, that's Haley's side.
We're very serious commentators here. We're joking with some people in the warm room.
Yes, very serious.
Yes, for line. Do it now. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way.
What do you expect when you have an internet audience of literally dozens?
We have 39 people watching us, and we thank them all. One of which is ourselves.
That's true, so 38 actually. And possibly 37, because I think this counts too, regardless.
Oh, so why are you telling them that? Like,
that's true. I'm destroying our Nielsen's. Damn it. Oh well.
We've had more than 100 here for finals before.
Oh, absolutely.
And we had, I want to say we were hosting like club playdowns or something. That we were hosting something while the World Championships were on, and we actually had more people watching our stream than were watching the World Championships.
We actually that was actually the junior playdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't
Last
us
season.
hosting. Maybe it was something that we were, but there was more people watching a club stream than were watching the World Championships.
Well, honestly, we do a better production job than the folks who did that. That's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the action. So we are progressing through the second stones. Here in
Janine
the
tried to
7th.
protect what she had already in the house, and she ended up moving the guard that was in front of her and leaving her rock right open for yellow to try to hit it out. And that's exactly what Maggie calls. She's going to call a hit on that shot rock red.
Absolutely. Okay, and yep, you just saw them officially hang up the 3 that they got in the 6th.
No, off. Yes, yes.
All right, so she's going to make contact with both red rocks, actually.
And doesn't quite get enough juice on that other red to get it out, though.
But at least you got one out and moved the other one out in a position that you can hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a position that can be hit, or even just a position that, hopefully by the end of the end won't even be relevant.
Exactly.
That you can outcount that,
yeah.
yes.
Not a problem.
And of course, Janine's call is to hit that yellow now.
Absolutely.
Whatever's open, hit it. You're 3 points ahead. You keep hitting
Exactly.
stuff.
3 out. 3 points. 3 points ahead. With only 2 ends to play. You take a hit whenever it's available to you.
You got it, ladies. Hard, hard.
And looks like we're gonna have contact. Maybe not. No, she made contact.
Moved, but not out.
But enough that I think the red stone may now be shot.
Now, where they are now, for me, it's a measure. But a lot of stuff's going to move.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's still
You can see
8
it, right?
stones left this end. Actually, 9 stones left this end.
And actually now, you mentioned that the redstone could be hit, and I think Maggie's thinking about that. It's usually very awkward to play a hit out this wide, but if they do it, then they've split the house pretty perfectly right across the
Absolutely
T-line.
true.
there.
Very true, Mike. So this is strategic. It's a dangerous call. She might be effectively throwing away a stone here.
Yes!
But got the sweepers on it quickly. Heading out towards the
All the
edge.
way, ladies, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way.
I think
She's on
got
it.
They've got
Oh
it.
yeah, right. Perfect.
And
It's
maybe
gonna
a little
spin
bit
to
of
the
a roll
inside,
inside,
but
burying
actually
the
that
red
makes-
guards,
that
touching
puts
the
it behind the
forefoot.
3
That's
guards.
a great shot.
That
Great
was
shot.
That was
world
amazing
class.
shot.
That was world class shooting. That was a brilliant shot.
And it's always hard for a beginner curler to hit the rocks on the outside. You're always, since we play so much closer to the center line, when the skip asks us for a hit on the outside, it's a little scary. You don't know if you're going to really hit that broom, if your slide is way out there, or
Yeah,
if it's
exactly.
where the skip wants.
Oh, and I have the almost sort of an opposite problem where those brooms on the edge just look like they're so far out there that I have a tendency to even pitch those even further
Yes,
wide.
fine. Yes, fine.
I don't have this problem, but I curl with a stick, so I just walk.
Yes, yes, yes. Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. Yeah, yeah,
So
Yes, yes,
Janine's
yes.
answer is to just kind of
got it, you
draw
got it,
into
you
the
got it.
house,
Okay.
possibly try to draw it
Yes, yes, yes.
to
The
that.
sweepers drag that. They could get a really nice.
They
Um,
are in arguably 2. Arguably the second stone.
It is arguably. Unfortunately, once all the rocks are thrown, it's not a debate
hit it.
competition
Look
down
out.
there in the house.
True
No,
statement.
you know what? I'm kidding. I was totally kidding. Let's try it.
And I do point out with a certain amount of glee that there is actually somebody curling with a stick over on sheet C. So that,
Oh.
makes, that makes my inner stick curler very happy.
Oh, I mean, I saw someone curling with a stick 2 weeks ago at the Francis Dykes, the men's version of this Bonspiel.
Right.
And even, watching the Briar, I saw Reed Carruthers, the skip of Team Manitoba, delivering with a stabilizer. So, I mean, we saw all sorts of curling hardware at all levels of the game.
Way light. Up, let it drift.
Now,
Let it go.
that curled too much. She has to hope that she doesn't promote the red, and she's curling enough that she's
I
going to just
think,
crash
yeah,
into
she's
the
crashing
mount
into the
of
mess.
yellows and
Yeah.
red there, the guards.
So,
Looks like
yeah.
there's special gravity into that point.
Yeah, exactly. So there's currently a diamond of 4 stones in front over on the left. And yeah, Judd, that's kind of one of the downsides of live stream. Sometimes the feed for an individual user will freeze up. Just reload. If you just hit refresh on the page, it'll come back. You might miss a couple shots, but that's about the best of course it's going to be probably. So,
Janine trying to hit that yellow on the outside.
Way out there.
is she going to get it, or is she outside it?
She's going to get some of it, but no, it's
disagree.
flashing.
It's not even flashing. It missed by a foot. So yellow is still sitting 1 and probably 2.
Try it again.
It's tempting to want to try to pick the red off the top, but right now it's actually serving as a little bit of a guard.
Yeah.
And you really run the risk of it jamming on the back. So I agree with drawing around, but
so this is Miriam Cherninko's final shot of this 7th end, and they're just drawing it in, trying to put a 3rd one in the 8-foot. Got to be honest, that feels a little heavy.
Yes, for line.
But they're calling it for line. They might be overcurling and tapping.
Yeah,
that
the way
red.
that it's curling now, I think that's going to end up crashing on the red.
That is going to end up crashing on that red.
No, up. Let it drip.
Oh, wow.
Or is it going to actually?
Oh, she got the rub.
It's still pushed her. Okay, now there is not even an academic debate that red stone is 2nd shot.
yes.
Okay, well, I was going to tap that up. I still like the hit and roll on that.
And while it made the red 2nd shot, you hear the red skip pointing out.
Yeah.
She was about to try to raise that further to the button or to the back yellow. And now it's a little bit buried.
Yes.
So while red is 2nd shot, they really don't have the shot anymore to get it to 1st shot.
Yeah.
So
really, even though that wasn't promoted of the red, that
yeah, I mean, it was a mistake really by any call, but it has a pretty positive result there. In that redstone can still be out-counted.
And you came with a lot of weight, too. That was a lot of weight.
So you hear Janine discussing her 1st shot, which apparently is going to be that draw. Now she is throwing.
Is that the draw or a hit and roll in?
You know, she might be playing it.
Okay. Yeah, so there's shot rock in the back. And I was going to try and tap up our red, but watch yourself. But they made that a lot harder. So let's try and hit and roll on there.
So you have to go for the hit and roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a takeout on the yellow on the outside and rolling to the inside behind cover.
And I mean, actually, technically, the double is
Oh,
there.
the double is there. It's just that it's very hard to
it's-
predict
it's-
that.
yeah.
Taking out that yellow doesn't, the one in the middle doesn't do anything for
The
us.
shot is the takeout and a roll in, and the bonus is if you can hit the yellow out and be 1 and 2.
Exactly. Or if she rolls, even if she doesn't
Even
make
if
it
she
all the
just
way
rolls
to the
across
yellow.
and just rolls it, near or to the yellow. Anywhere in the 4-foot, though, is a great roll.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
That's a light tap, and they got to get on real
They're
quick.
on real quick. She's spinning from the outside in.
Up. Let it
And
curl.
she's
Let it curl.
the handle she put on this, she's going to get kind of a short roll, even if she makes the hit.
Actually, she's not even going to make the hit.
Oh.
She's going to.
Yeah.
She's popping that yellow up top, I think.
Yeah.
Or did she?
Oh, she curled all the way over to the red, except she didn't even get to the red.
Wow. That is
That
a lot
rock
of
is
move.
behaving weird.
I don't know if it
That,
hit something
that
or
is a
what,
lot of
but
move. And again, she's
just
wondering
took
if it
off.
picked.
I mean, that was.
Well, Yag, okay, so something to realize, York, we actually have our skips mic'd. The 2 skips in this game have a pocket mic or a lavalier with a battery pack, and we actually also have
Ambient microphones.
microphones over the ice. So we're set up to hear this really well. A typical game, you're not going to hear.
What we can do sometimes when we're playing leagues here, we can turn the microphone on, and then people here can hear what's being said on the ice,
Yeah.
which sometimes gets to be pretty interesting. Especially if they don't know that we're listening.
I don't want to hit it that hard.
Okay, so
It's all right.
Maggie
I'll be
is
wide
trying
anyway.
to figure out what she's got in mind here. Is she doing what I think she's doing? Is she trying to take those 2 reds out?
That
Right
is
now we're
not the
sitting
shot
on.
that I would call.
Okay.
You can either go for the red.
Especially if we're gonna have
No, I think you should go yellow into red.
We're going to try to tap up. We're going to come inside out.
Oh, I think she's actually
she's
drawing
doing
across to tap one of the
Okay,
yellows.
that makes much more sense. That makes much more sense.
I mean, the double between the reds is there, but I would, and I mean, if you hit it, you can get 4.
I think it's protected by the guards.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Oh, okay. See, I'm
line-
only
the line's
looking at
not there
the overhead cam, so I can only
she's
see the
looking
rocks in the house.
for the tap. She's not going to get the tap.
She's already off the rock.
She's already off the rocks, and I'm not sure why they're still sweeping. I would think they would not sweep to try to get a rub off the other one. Went straight through.
What it didn't curl early, it's curling now.
That's the
Exactly.
other thing we could do is we could hit and roll to come from the other way.
And yeah, there may be no checking, Sal, but on the other
Instead of
hand,
coming this way.
how many hockey games do you know that have something like 550 pounds of stone of rock on the ice?
You weren't light. No, I'd give it more. No,
Just that one that I saw one time in Slovakia.
Okay. Because actually, each of these curling stones weighs 42 pounds, and there's 16 of them in play. So doing the math, that's a lot of weight. Curling is a very heavy sport.
Yeah. Ours are actually on the side closer to 39, 40 pounds, but 39 to 42 is the standard, or is the regulation.
We're going to try the hit and roll again, but we're going to come from the other side.
Okay.
So I'm going to come this way.
So Janine is doing the hit and roll, coming off of the center line.
Yeah.
Looks like she's expecting about 3 feet of curl.
I agree with the handle
Roll there.
more because you'll get a longer roll, rolling sort of with the turn of the stone. Whether this is the right broom for the...
I was going to say, I'm not sure I agree with the broom.
Yeah, I would say whether that's the right broom or not, I'm not sure. But I do agree that you probably want to play this with an outturn versus an inturn.
Okay, so they put the sweepers on it pretty quick. So she's concerned she may have overthrown that.
Oh, they got to sweep
and
that.
I understand her concern. She is outside. Clean miss.
So either just needed a lot more ice, or maybe she needed more weight. Actually, it looks a little bit of both, because she looks like she only threw about backline weight at that.
Yeah, that's not even back line. Yeah, back line, that's where it
Backline,
stopped.
but-
Well, here's the deal. We're sitting more.
Okay, so now we'll see Maggie Churlo is sitting one.
Update on sheet A. 2 points for red, which puts the Curling Club of Virginia 1 point ahead of the yellow team from Potomac.
Yes. So it is 7-6 after 7. The Virginia Monologues over Team Potomac from Potomac. However, Potomac down 1, but they will have the hammer in the 8th end. So
Down one with. It's
down 1 with is never a bad thing.
one of the better spots to be.
It's got to hit that way.
I guess the other option would
And they just finished the 7th end on C
Wheel and throw,
also.
go straight, whatever. No harm, no
C
foul.
and D. The D score being hung is 2 more for Bucks County, which will put them up 10-4.
So that game is well. There's looks like they're going to throw the 8th end, but it's
I mean, they need to get the rocks back to this end anyway, so I guess we'll throw 2 or 3, and then
Right.
yellow will be out of rocks, and we'll put the rest away by hand.
And at this point, they're not holding anybody up because they're the fastest. They're one of all these
Yeah.
games
The
are.
red one that way. Listen, either way, we're knocking hammer back. Then we've got to try to.
Okay, so as you can hear, Maggie Churlo is trying to figure out a way to manufacture at least 2 out of this.
I'm gonna throw it hard. Yeah.
Does she have any realistic opportunity for 3? I don't think she does.
Oh no, because the guard's there. Because I'm looking over at the TV
Oh,
above
wait.
your guys' heads.
Yes, she does.
And
If
I
she
see
tips
that there's
With the yellow into
yellow
into red.
which is what she's calling for, and it's coming. They've got the sweepers on it really hard. If they can hold
Oh,
the
it curled.
line, it over curled.
Oh,
it's a
no.
throw now. Oh, disaster.
Yeah, that's
Disaster.
very unfortunate.
That, unfortunately, gave red a shot, a steal
So
of
now
1
we just, got to get 4.
to go up 8-4 after 7.
I've seen comebacks like this happen.
I've seen at
It's-
5 and unders. I've seen teams come back 7 points in 2
I
ends.
would like to point out, for the record, that at my last Dykes competition, which is the male equivalent to this, I was up 4 in the 8th and lost. So it has happened. So, yeah.
And to anyone who remembers the whole Chester's front end joke that went around from last year's Dykes, that was also a team that was up 4 going into the 8th, gave up the 4 for the tie, and then lost the extra. So
It does happen.
She's looking at you like
So-
four can be achieved with the hammer. You got to get your guards up and then go from there.
And you got to get a miss. And the other
Janine's
team
calling
has
for the
to
throw
help you
through
with it.
now.
Yeah, the hard. Strangely enough, the hardest shot in curling. She's asking her lead, Ashlyn Basiri, to throw the stone through the house. Don't care about it much. Yeah, it was in fact a missed pick out. So for those of you who may be new to curling to understand the strategy, the whole reason that Janine is trying to get her stone out of there is she's got a lead. She doesn't need to score. She can even let
We need 4.
Maggie score 3. She doesn't care. So any stone that she leaves in play can be used by Maggie as a backing, as a guard, something like that. So she has control over her stone. Get it out of there.
Yep, a red guard would be something yellow could hide behind. A red rock in the house could be one that yellow could hide behind or freeze onto. So the best rock is one that's not on the sheet.
Exactly. So the game over on sheet D, they basically all acknowledge they're just playing out the string over on D. Bucks County is going to emerge victorious over Chessie's girls with a score of 10-4-ish.
Take it as far as you can.
The 7th on C was won for the Julie Hershey Irish Ice team.
So that's a tie, isn't it?
It is a tie, and it's 4-4 after 7, so it's a very tight, low-scoring, trading a lot of ones kind of game. So this 8th is going to be big because there have been some steals. So both teams are in this. 1 point will win it for either team.
Absolutely. And we will cut to one of those 2 games as soon as this game is over, assuming that this game ends before one of those other 2. Seeing as how I know that there is a fan interested in Sheet A, we'll probably move over to A if B ends. If we get anybody who's particularly interested in the Irish Ice Lucky Charms game, speak up now. To answer your question, I'm going to assume Richard Chin, Potomac Chin. That's got to be Richard. Coaching is allowed? I don't know if
do not have any coaches sitting here that I see.
Right.
I think coaching could be not. I don't think a coach could go out and give advice.
It's not against the rules, though. I don't know. It would be frowned upon because these games are on a clock, not a time clock, not a rolling clock like world level games. They have a certain amount of time to finish the game, so they wouldn't want to interrupt the game flow.
And Maggie's teammate threw the rock through the house, which is not very good when you need to score a lot of points.
Absolutely. So she's in a situation where she's only got 6 stones left to throw. She's got to manufacture 4 points. She's starting to run out of options there. Let's update you on the situation over on sheet C. They're working their way through the 8th end. Currently, red is lying 3, and red will have the hammer in this 8th end. So things can change rapidly, but right now they're probably liking what they're seeing.
And Janine calls for a draw into the house, and it's a perfect draw behind the guard there. Makes Maggie's life a lot harder.
So that's an interesting choice, given that the free guard zone was off because we were in the 5th end of the end, 5th rock of the end. Wouldn't you maybe have tried to peel stuff out?
You got to know your teammates. Sometimes your teammates are good at drawing, but they're not very good at doing takeouts. And this game, the takeouts have not been very good at all.
That's true.
So if you know your draw weight, get the draw in there.
That is a true statement. Judd, I'm not quite sure what you mean by Care Bears. We don't have a Care Bears team.
The Care Bears are on the late draw. There are two of the Care Bear, Care Bear teams are going to be playing the late draw.
Okay, so yeah, we'll count those games. Will be I don't know if any of those games are on B, but because our primary setup is sheet B.
Yeah, one of the Care Bear teams is playing on sheet B.
Yeah, Jackie Barris's team will be playing on B, and the other one will be on A. So we'll be playing next to each other.
Which is Aaron Moyer is the skip there?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
So there you go. You'll get your wish, Judd, in approximately 40 minutes.
Okay, that's good.
So Janine looking to draw another one in.
No.
Well, so certainly there's, Richard, there's nothing preventing a skip from coming into the warm room while the opponent is up. And,
nope, that'll work.
Not quite.
There's nothing preventing it, let's put it that way.
Same thing, I'm going to give you less ice. Throw it the same weight.
I would think that within the spirit of curling, if you bring a coach with you, you would discuss the game after the game and what your strategy is going to be for the game. Before the game.
I would think that would be.
There is no mid-game break like there is in competitive curling, so you don't have the opportunity to come out and talk. But and I don't think it would be a good idea to go and talk to your coach while the other team is delivering the rock.
So
no.
Yeah.
No coaching.
Okay, so the Misfit Takeouts tried to, well, they did a takeout, but I don't think that was what they had in mind. Over on sheet A, they're in the 8th end. Linda Kirkman down 1 with yellow having the hammer this end, however, is currently lying 2 as they're progressing along.
Now, interesting shot for Janine. I would throw that one through. You already have 1 in the house, and you want to keep it clear.
I think I would too, because technically, I mean, Maggie Churlo only has 4 stones left to deliver. They've got 1 that's still in play, but basically they've got to make all 4 of their stones that they have remaining to throw count.
Nope, it's fine.
So I don't know that I would put something up there where they can hide. That seems like it's introducing more risk than necessary.
Throw behind.
The Virginia Monologues is attempting to take out one of Linda Kirkman's shots sitting on the stone over on sheet A, but picked off their own guard. Now it did peel the guard. Linda's stone is now exposed on the center over on sheet A. She's lying 1-2. But Linda has the hammer and is putting the guard back. Over here on sheet C, red has a bunch of stones in the house, but yellow has the counter.
What's the weight?
Does it sound like me? Yeah, it does sound like Enrique, right?
Let's see if we can get it in.
Yes, that is Enrique.
Go ahead, all the way. It's gonna be a long run
And
back.
Maggie's shot
Good game.
pops on their own, and Maggie is conceding. She realizes she only has 3 stones left to play. No way to get 4. Spirit of curling. She is shaking the game. So that is our final here on sheet B. The final score is 8-4 as the Curling Colleens beat Misfit Takeout. So we're going to cut over to, I believe we said sheet A. We'll at least get the cameras over there. We may not get the graphics up, but we'll at least get the camera cut over.
And it's almost at the end of the game with 1 of the Vice's rocks to be thrown, I think. No, 2 of the Vice's rocks to be thrown and the Skip's rock.
Yes. So bear with us for just one moment. We're getting the cameras across. You can probably see it in the sideline. So A is the Virginia Monologues is in red against McCartney from the Central Curling Club of Virginia against Linda Kirkman's Potomac team. They just threw the last CCVA Vice Stone, and it did not get the hit. Linda's looking to put another guard up. I can't say I blame her. After all, she's got the 2 in the house, as you can see. All she needs 2 to win.
Yep.
She's got her 2. Guarding that up is definitely the correct answer.
Hey, good game.
And we're in the 8th end over on C.
Yep, we're on the 8th end. We're in the 8th end on C. It's 4-4. The Irish ice rink is sitting shot. They've got 1 stone behind them. They look to be pretty frozen. But then there are about 5 red stones, all just sort of making a perfect little arc in front of them.
Yes, there are.
Any one of them could be the one that runs back and takes out the yellow. Just not sure when red's going to try to make that happen. They're running out of stones. We're down to skip stones.
Okay, so over on sheet A, as you saw, Linda Kirkman had her Vice use their last stone to put another guard up in the front of the house. They have 2 guards, actually there's 3 guards, guarding those 2 stones in the center. We're sitting at kind of an awkward angle, so it's a little difficult for us to really tell how well those guards are guarding those 2 stones, but actually they should be guarding pretty well. So Richard is asking if his wife's game, do you know what sheet Richardson's wife is playing on?
What team does she play on?
I'll be honest, I'm not certain.
I've got all the rosters in front of me. I will find what team she's on. She is on Team Snarsky, so then I'll have to find what game they're playing in.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Okay, so the Virginia Monologue skip, McCartney is throwing her first stone.
It's a beautiful
That's
shot.
a very nice shot. It doesn't displace the shot stone, but what it does do, it becomes number 2 And it is exposed, I think. Like I said, I'm sitting at an angle. It's a little hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure it's at an angle. Pretty sure it's exposed, rather. So the red skip over on sheet C is preparing to throw her first of 2 stones. Red has the hammer over on C. Yellow is currently sitting just behind the button. You heard Mike Sell explaining the situation there a little bit ago. They're going for, it looks like they're going for an in-off off of one of those reds that was up front. We'll describe that shot to you as it's coming, because it's coming down the ice. Like I said, they're going for an in-off to try to get there. Got the sweepers on it really, really hard. They just called it up. And not quite.
But opens the way for
It
the
opened his
draw.
for their last shot, although yellow's got a stone in between, obviously. So over on sheet A, McCartney, and I'm sorry, I do not have her first name, is getting, I'm sorry, this is Linda Kirkman getting ready to throw her first skip stone. She is probably, I think she's going to try to get rid of that red stone if she can. Not much risk there, so that's definitely the right shot to play. The question is just whether she'll be successful or not. Now, Linda Kirkman, Richard. She's the yellow skip. McCartney is throwing the red stones.
And Linda Kirkman, besides playing on this Bonspiel, she is the chair of the Bonspiel.
That's true.
So she's been working really hard to make it and to get everybody here. So that's a draw. That's a guard weight.
If that was, I don't know. I don't understand. I think she just didn't throw that as hard as she wanted to throw.
Yeah, she needed it a little harder than she threw.
Okay, and I'm being told that McCartney's first name is Katie. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that.
Yes, I just looked it up, but Josh would know better than I would.
So Katie is preparing to throw her last stone. She is up 1 without hammer. And so they're guarding it all up to take an extra end with hammer. Is that what they've basically got going on there? They're discussing it right now. So we're going to actually focus over here on the final shot on sheet C. Do we have any way to get sheet C up on the video, up on the cameras? Because this is going to be a little bit interesting for the fans at home here. Okay, never mind then. We'll just describe the situation. Yellow is still sitting the first shot just behind the button, basically frozen to a red stone in the back 4. Red could probably draw to it. It looks like they're aiming for an in-off, or maybe they're doing the draw. I can't really tell exactly what they've got in mind. The stone's coming down. At that weight, it's definitely got to be something making contact.
It's like a back 4 weight.
The sweepers are on it.
Got to wait for
I
that.
think they need to let this break a bit.
I
Right
think
now
you're
they're
right.
sweeping it to the
But
side of the
I don't
forefoot.
think, but they don't have the
Oh,
distance.
they don't have the
That's
distance.
the problem. Okay, it comes up short. So yellow, Irish Ice, Julie Hershey from Potomac manages to escape with a 5-4 win over the Lucky Charms from Chesapeake, as Fisher's last stone comes up too short to alter the situation. And while that was going on, over on sheet A, Jamie Furmender made her decision. I'm sorry, not Jamie Furmender, wrong game. I'm sorry. Katie McCartney made her decision on what she's doing here.
And I think she's trying to hit that yellow that was just put there.
Interesting decision.
It's light, so it's a draw.
Yeah, I think she's just guarding
Drawing
that up and
between
saying,
those?
yeah,
Guarding and
just
saying,
guarding
I'll get
up
you
and
in the
saying,
next
I'll get you in
end?
the next end. What I'm not 100% sure of is if we're playing 9 or if it's a skip straw.
I don't think you get the skip straw. I think you play.
I think it's got to be an extra end.
I think, yeah, probably true.
I imagine that's probably a GNCC rule.
I don't know that. I don't know. Maybe. So okay. So now we're in a situation where Linda Kirkman is sitting shot. There's no question there. If she can manufacture a second shot, a second point out of this, she can win the game.
Yeah, I can't tell from my angle what she can see. It doesn't look like she has a good view of the red.
They're looking at the promoting red and yellow into red. But
I
now
mean,
she's looking at the other options.
I
Yeah,
don't think.
If she can see the yellow one in the top 12, which it looks like there's a guard on top of that too, if she could just raise that to bite the button and get to that way. There's a lot of ways to get to. You just have to be very careful you don't lose your one.
Right.
Now the overhead view, you guys can see. They're looking for all the options here.
Okay, so Linda she's got the broom down. She's got her vice, has the broom down. Oh, they're making it.
Oh, the applause in the warm room coming from that game on sheet C. Those teams have just stepped off the ice.
So yeah, the only game remaining on the sheet at this point is sheet A. Now I curled with Linda in the first half season of one of our leagues, and unfortunately, I got to say, hits are not her strong suit.
No, she has improved a bit in the last year or so. But like a lot of new curlers, myself not accepted from that, it loses a bit of the line when she tries to throw up weight.
Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly the diagnosis I'd give for her. But it looks like they're trying to. I think they're just trying to throw something in there and hope they can get something promoted in. I suppose there's a risk that they could accidentally knock their yellow out and give the game away, but
I think any way you knock your yellow out, you put whatever knocked it out is going to sit there, and so you'll still get your one unless somehow you run a red in, but I don't see any way that could happen
yeah,
here.
You're probably true. Okay, Stone is on the way. She came with lots of weight, that's for sure.
That's a lot of weight, and it looks like it's just falling away from the center line.
Yeah,
and isn't going to touch anything.
We'll be playing 9 here on sheet A. We'll be playing 9 over here on sheet A, so
So as we mop everything up and get set for the second round of games while we figure out, I'm not sure what is being figured out.
I think they're discussing, is it a 9th end or is it a skip straw, and for that matter,
well,
they're also deciding they're putting the stones down the other end to throw them back this way.
That is worth discussion. Linda, it's up to you. You're the chairman. What's the
exactly.
rule?
Ironically, unfortunately, Richard, the chairman for the Bonspiel, is on the ice. She's one of the teams involved, so I doubt they considered this. Okay, so they're kicking the stones to this end.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen discussion either way. It's a lot faster to just get started on your next end and get the game over with.
And there's always the possibility of a 10th, so yeah, you might as well just throw it.
Yeah. And also, just having to push them all back, you're just running them over the ice again, and you're just wearing it down even more.
True statement.
8 ends, 9 ends into a game, it starts getting flat and wonky in spots.
Okay, so they're pushing the stones down to the other end, making us look foolish. Okay.
Yes, they are. Okay, I think maybe another person told them to do that. I don't know.
I do know that Linda came in and asked for some advice from somebody in the warm room. I'm not sure who. But so apparently they're going to play a full 9th end, and it's going to come in this way.
Or they're going to skip straws, and they have no confidence and think they might need 8 tries at it.
Possible. Not terribly likely. Do you happen to have the cards with the teams since we're going to be with these guys for the next 15 minutes?
Yeah. No.
Let's go to the trouble to introduce them. That is foolish, Alan McNeil. How you doing, Richard? Okay, so since we're going to be here for the next 15 minutes, let's go ahead and introduce the teams that we'll be watching here in overtime curling here on Thursday nights. The team in yellow is the Potomac team, skipped by Linda Kirkman, representing the Potomac Curling Club. The skip is Linda Kirkman, the vice is Lisa Carasella, the second is Rainey Delaney, and the lead is Sarah Heiskill. I apologize if I've just bombed that name. They're playing against the Virginia Monologues, skipped by Katie McCartney. The vice is Christine Alisi. The second is Barbara Joe or BJ Paulsa, and the lead is Alex Carroll. So we are preparing to throw the first stones of the ninth end. Linda Kirkman does not have the hammer.
And Alan,
Katie
I'll
McCartney does. Yes.
mention that the team out of Virginia actually, I believe, is trying to be called the Virginia Monologues.
Yeah,
that
the
is
likelihood of my getting that right is 0.
That's fine. Just as a little color comment for everyone online, a few members of this club were playing at the Kaiser Bonspiel, the mixed 5 and under, up at Schenectady about a month ago. And that was just an unfortunate typo on all the Virginia paperwork that had been repeated throughout the Schenectady Curling Club. So all of the signs and banners and things that were hung to honor that particular team were spelled with that particular unfortunate misspelling on them. So they decided to run with it.
That explains just about everything. Thank you. Okay, and so we're being told by Josh Leggett that he actually has the correct lineup for these guys. That's awesome. Katie is holding the broom for Virginia, but throwing lead stones. BJ is throwing second. Okay, I've got that right. Christine is throwing last stones. I presume that means Alex is throwing second. I don't know that for sure, but no, BJ is throwing second. Alex is throwing third. I'm sorry. Okay. So we're working our way through the first stones of the end here. Linda Kirkman went for a hit. Went for the hit. Linda's stone got knocked in sitting on the button. There are no guards up at the moment. Linda is asking her lead Sarah to throw one up. So this is Sarah Heiskell throwing her second stone of the end. Okay, just so you know, they're going to be releasing the Sheet C and Sheet D games to go as soon as the ice is prepared. I think the game on B is going to wait for the game on A to end. I'm not 100% certain. So Sarah Heiskell's stone on that one was hogged. So that's the last lead stone. Okay, so Katie McCartney is throwing her last stone of the game, the skip for the Curling Club of Virginia. Looks like she's got the hit, or at least a tap. Tapped it back. Red is currently sitting lead, or sitting shot rather. So we have the lead stones out of the way. Here come the seconds. So that's going to be Rainey Delaney for Potomac, and throwing the second stones for Curling Club of Virginia, Barbara Joe or BJ Paulsa. This will be Rainey Delaney's throwing her stone. Linda's looking to have that red stone taken out. Stone is on its way. Looks a little wide. And I don't know if it's going to come back and get there or not. It might make contact. Nope, it goes clean through the hole. And so we are now to BJ Paulsa throwing her first stone of this ninth end. She's being asked to put up the guard. It appears that They're concerned it might be a little short. I'm here, Richard. I'm currently never only trying to figure out. It appears that Virginia actually is CCV is only curling with 3 curlers, so I'm working my way through that. Okay, so Kate was here. Linda called for the tap on the hit. They just promote the red shot back. Yellow is currently sitting as shot at the moment, is exposed. Linda Kirkman. So we're now up to Curling Club of Virginia's next stone, their 4th stone of the end, which I believe actually is the first stone being thrown by BJ Paulson. So I believe they're only curling with 3. Yellow is currently sitting shot in the 4-foot. Red has one in the back of the 4-foot that could be important later. Red has the hammer this end, as you may recall. Definitely taking their time to line this up. There it goes. They're asking her to take out the yellow stone that's currently shot. It's not behind any cover, so if they can get to it, it should work. Sweeping it awfully hard. Now, they only have the 1 sweeper, so that makes holding line a lot harder with only the 1 sweep. But I think the shot's going to be good. It's getting there. It makes the contact. It pushes the yellow stone back, but the yellow is still shot. It's just more exposed. And now red has 2 stones hanging out in the 4-foot on the other side with a guard in front of them. So Linda Kirkman still has the shot stone with 8 stones left to go in this 9th end. Linda's asking her advice, Linda Carosella, to guard up. She's basically, I think Linda's relying on hanging onto that shot that she's currently got as the shot stone. She may have waited a little bit too long to put the sweepers on that, because it is going very well. It's got the 12-foot guarded pretty well. But that's not going to hold that. That's not going to help that situation at all. So I actually think the yellow is pretty open, and it looks like that's what Virginia. That's what Katie is asking Barbara Joe to do with their 5th stone. Going for the takeout. It's got the handle. They put the sweeper on it pretty quickly. They're curling in towards the center line. This usually stays fairly straight. It's coming across. It's past Linda's guard that she threw. It's going to make contact. No, actually it didn't. It was over curled. It's sitting. That red stone is probably shot. There is a pocket there. There's Linda's calling for the hit. As you can see, Richard Chin disagrees and says there should be a draw. Definitely, with this weight, though, actually, this is not going to be an effective hit weight. This may be a draw by default, and it's not even all that this did. This is just going to clog up the front of the house. This is on the center line, 3 guard. on the center line. Doesn't change the situation at all. That is not what Linda had in mind. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. You can probably see off in the periphery the other 3 games have been released. We will be cutting coverage over to the Sheet B game. There's going to be a little bit of a delay because we have to wrap this one up and start the next one. We'll get the game back live as quickly as we can over on Sheet B, but there's going to be there will be a couple minutes after this is over, and we apologize for that. We'll make the cut as quickly as possible, get the folks who are going to commentate that game in here, and go from there. So Curling Club of Virginia throwing their next stone. I believe they're content with the situation right now. They're looking to, I think they're looking to clog it up. They're looking to guard up because really, truthfully, their red stone behind the hog is in a pretty good slot. They actually used their stone and rolled theirs behind even more coverage. There's a lot of stones in front of that now. And they have the shot, the hammer rather. Linda Kirkman's getting ready to throw her first stone. We're down to the skip stones here in the 9th end. Overtime curling here at the Sonoma Curling Club. Linda's examining a lot of options right now, so I'm not 100% sure what the plan is. I see where she's got the broom, and I'm still not sure what the plan is, to be honest. The front guards are, the red guard is right on the center, right outside the house. The yellow guard is about a foot in front of that. So I'm sorry, talking a little slow because the Sheet B game is getting going and they're waving their arms frantically, asking a question, and I can't. Someone's trying to respond to it. Okay, here comes Linda's first stone. Oh, they're waiting for. Sheet B's game was waiting for one of their curlers. They hadn't come out on the edge. They were enraptured by the Sheet A game. So here comes Linda's first stone. What is going to happen here? She made a hit, and now that was. She pulls off the in-off, and I think she is sitting shot right now. That was an excellent shot by Linda. Right now, yellow is almost certainly sitting shot. And that is actually behind cover pretty well. It's going to be hard as heck to get to that yellow. There's also that red stone right behind it. There's a little bit of a gap, but not enough to not enough to still get the yellow out of there. That may be a game winner by Linda right there. So now, Curling Club of Virginia skip. I'm sorry, it's actually Christine Alisi, who is the vice, throwing skip stones, throwing her first stone. They're looking to off of the other yellow on the other side, which could very easily work. Remember, they only have the one sweeper to hold this line. They got that on there really fast. She's working hard, trying to hit that yellow stone just on the inside and roll to the pin. Just like Richard was saying, they could cover the pin, but instead they're going to wreck on a guard up top. So the pin is still open. Linda Kirkman is still lying shot. They just didn't give that the shot that they were throwing. They had the weight about right, but the line was not correct. So Linda. I think Linda is trying. I don't know what Linda's trying to do. Not with that line. I'm virtually certain she shot. But it looks like where she's got the broom being held, it's like she's trying to play the in-off that was being played earlier. I don't know, Mike. I don't know what's going on here. So the games on B, C, and D are underway. We'll catch you up on those as soon as we get across. Exactly, a guard would be very safe, but that's not what she's got the broom lined up for. So
Yes,
this may.
we'll be covering next draw's featured games in the style of NBC, in that we will just only show you Skips Rocks, and then we will cut away again.
Is that what we're doing?
Probably not.
Oh, Linda's stone picks. It picked on something a third or a quarter or halfway down the stone, just made a sudden severe left-hand turn. That stone, and it just that could be a heartbreaker. Linda didn't. I mean, I don't quite understand the shot she was throwing in the first place, but we'll never know.
It just gives Red a free second shot at this here.
Exactly. So
I mean, it's really tricky. You have to hit and just roll a foot to the shooter's left or right.
Honestly, if they make the contact on the inside of the stone, they'll roll where they need to go.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not like they can over-roll with both rocks there.
So the stone's underway. The sweeper's on it hard. I'm not sure that I agree that the person holding the broom came out of there, but it wrecks on something up front. Linda Kirkman, tentatively, I believe
Linda Kirkman, as far as I can tell,
Linda
Kirkman has won the game 8-7.
They're looking right now. They're making a decision, and
devices are shaking hands.
Devices are shaking.
They've
Linda
decided,
Kirkman,
and I don't know how they could have decided red, but I guess we will see.
I'm assuming it would have to be, because otherwise red wouldn't have bothered to throw. So yellow had to be shut.
Yeah.
Okay. So Linda Kirkman escapes by the skin of her teeth to take this game in 9 ends, final score 8-7. So we're going to very quickly hang up here and roll over so that we can bring you the next draw. So thank you very much, and we'll be back as soon as we can get the electronics taken care of to show you the games in the late draw. Thank you very much.